the complex process. Let their team guide you through their remaining steps today. Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. They work with an independent network of tax professionals and will share information with them to evaluate.
Morning. Good morning.
Time check.
The time is.
It is 1:58. I mean
11:58.
11:58. I do that a lot with 12 and 2.
Yeah, he blames it on the mic stand, but he really just can't read a clock.
I'm telling you, the mic stand is right in front of the number I need to see.
There's also a clock right here if you ever need it.
I don't like that one. That one's super accurate.
No. Well, today is Tuesday, August 15th.
Halfway through August.
Whoa. Today's YouTube live chat poll is asking, will you vote for your party's nominee? Yes or no? 2 answers, not a maybe, a yes or a no. So leave a comment and let us know if you will or if you will not and why you feel that way.
And if it's yes, you can sign a loyalty pledge and be on the debate stage on next Wednesday night. We'll watch you from Dave & Buster's.
All right, why don't you share who's with us today?
Greg Jarrett, Fox News legal analyst. Guess why we're talking to him today? Number 4. I hate to say that we are climbing the ladder even higher, but here we are. And if you want to know more about this case in particular, what kind of challenges it's going to pose for him, the money it's costing him, that kind of stuff, that's what we will discuss at 12:25 with Greg Jarrett. Then Wiggins America. I'm going to do kind of some snapshots on where the American public is regarding several different issues, like polling on just different stuff that I think that you'll probably be interested to hear.
Hope so.
If you're not, then you're going to probably want to just tune out for that. But give it a try is what I'm asking.
There are so many other options to listen to.
Yeah, if you're not into Wiggins America, try many of the other Americas out there.
Or just listen to our commercial breaks. And make some suggestions
That's really all we care about.
There's got to be something better than this trash.
Yeah, if you do believe that, I don't fault you, but you're just give it a try. It's all I'm saying. At 12:40.
Are you okay?
I do the time checks for a reason.
It's actually practice. It's not because he's good at it. It's to make him better. It's telling time.
12:45. You're gonna want to dip in, and you're going to find out. I want you to stay here. Don't dip in. Stay. At 1:05. At 1:05. Joe Concha, who is super fast-witted and will bring that candor to that segment. Yeah, he's super quick. Quick-witted?
Most would say quick-witted.
You could say fast-witted. They're synonyms.
You'd have to have a certain level of panache to say fast-witted.
Stop. Stop. Did we and you have this conversation off air yesterday, or was it me and you?
We had this conversation on
Was it?
air.
Oh, I know we talked on air, but I thought that we were in my office talking about it again. Pistachio. That's what it was. You walked by eating pistachios yesterday. So Joe Concha at 1:05, and a whole lot of indictment. Gosh, are you as mad about this as I am? Let's stop there so I don't give the
Once
goose
again,
away.
the YouTube live chat poll is asking, will you vote for your party's nominee? Yes or no. Once again, drop a comment in the live stream comment section and let us know what you think. I'll be reading some comments over that, and the poll results at 2:45.
How long will you stay there and be weird?
No, I'm getting out.
Give me a...
A safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Hey, you're up next.
Ugh, my throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Please welcome to the stage. Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Changeable skies and a little taste of early fall around town as we go through our Tuesday afternoon. A mix of clouds and sunshine. 78 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. 70 to 75 for evening plans. Low humidity. Chilly overnight. 58. Wednesday, sunny and nice, 82. Thursday, sunny. Let's try to warm it up Thursday afternoon to 88 degrees. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
This planet is so incredibly beautiful that I can't get enough of it. I did 950 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail, and Good Feet was with me all the way. Your passion's important, but if your body aches and if your heel feels like you've got a nail stuck in it and won't come out, trust me, it's going to wear you down. The Good Feet store knew what they were talking about and took the time to really dial in what I needed. I hiked 84 miles in the Himalaya and to do it pain-free. You think I'm not grateful for Good Feet?
Get ready for your summer adventures. Come to the Good Feet store today. Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlouis.com. You deserve comfort in your life. Come in for your free test walk today.
St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki created Neovitin 15 years ago to help support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Since then, Neovitin has helped thousands of people support their daily nutrition with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend. If you're ready to join many St. Louisans in supporting their nutrition, give Neovitin a try. You can find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Angie makes it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get your home projects done well, from repair to remodel. Book instantly at an upfront price or request quotes from multiple pros. Get started on the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Oh, greetings. It is I, the Count, and it's time to answer that fascinating question. What is the Sesame Street number of the day? Let's count the bats and find out. That's one. One bat. Two bats. Three fabulous flyers. What? Nothing? Nothing happened. Where's the confetti? Where's the balloons? Isn't 3 the number of the day? What? Oh, not finished counting. Ha-ha. Yes, Sasha, where were you, my pet? Oh, well, never mind. You're here now. Let's keep going. We had 3 bats, and 1 more, Sasha, makes 1, 2, 3, 4 altogether. 4 beautiful beauts. I mean 4 beautiful bats. The number of the day is 4.
Live coverage from the Joe Biden campaign for presidency. And we have 4 bats, 4 indictments for Donald Trump. What a weird night it was. What a weird day it was to watch the Democrats in Georgia hurry up and wait, and then wait for the hurry up to get the 4th indictment out there for us to see how this continues to unfold. And I know her name is Fani Willis, but CNN yesterday said Fani, and I'm just going to go with that.
Yeah.
Fani Willis. Here's from yesterday.
Today, based on information developed by that investigation, a Fulton County grand jury returned a true bill of indictment, charging 19 individuals with violations of Georgia law arising from a criminal conspiracy to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election in this state.
So listening to Fani there talk about the indictment, the true bill that was returned last night, which is ironic because it was actually kind of returned in the morning through a document that was released but was wrong. But then when they released it, it was actually correct. Well, I guess we're not going to talk about that. More from Fani from last night.
The indictment includes 41 felony counts and is 97 pages long. Please remember that everyone charged in this bill of indictment is presumed innocent. Specifically, the indictment brings felony charges against Donald John Trump, Rudolph William Louis Giuliani, John Charles Eastman, Mark Randall Meadows, John Cheeseborough, Jeffrey Clark, Jenna Lynn Ellis.
So this is a list of people who were charged. That's not the entire list. But now we have the 4th indictment set in place. And now the president, this is the headline that I'm seeing come out of this in a big way, is that jail time looks more possible for Donald Trump than it has ever looked before. So you are here on the political timeline that we've been watching kind of manifest itself over the course of all of the years since Donald Trump came down the escalator and said, I think I'm going to run for president. And I recall him being, I believe it was on Sean Hannity's show, and Sean was like, we need to know, are you going to run? This is before the escalator bit. But we need to know, are you going to run? Are you going to run? And he's like, I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm still talking to the people to figure out what it is. But I know that if I run, I will win. I always thought, wow, what a bold statement. Which is kind of like what Hillary Clinton said, but that didn't turn out the same way. Here's more from Fani on her announcement last night.
Every individual charged in the indictment is charged with 1 count of violating Georgia's Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act through participation in a criminal enterprise in Fulton County, Georgia, and elsewhere to accomplish the illegal goal of allowing Donald J. Trump to seize the presidential term of office beginning on January 20th, 21.
So Donald Trump's response to the indictment that came through last night, and I had volleyball practice with my daughter and didn't get home till 9:30, so I was watching a lot of the coverage of this on Fox on replay, on delay or whatever, DVR. And it was interesting to see that the Trump lawyers were not privy to information before the public was. I don't know what the standard process is there, but that seems a little bizarre that you'd have to sit and watch the news in order to find out what the actual outcome of this was. That's the implication that was given last night by Trump's lawyers on Fox. But there's another huge set of questions that the American people have to ask themselves. If you are an objective person, you have to look at this scenario and say, did Donald Trump do something wrong here? I think that's a fair question. And you can take that question in the context of they've been trying to hang him from the moment he decided he wanted to be a threat to them. The very second. That context absolutely exists. But an intellectually based person will say, show me what you got. Let me see what the evidence is. Greg Jarrett is a Fox News legal analyst and a former defense attorney and law professor. He's going to be with us in 12 minutes from now. So we're going to ask him the legal questions and get his legal analysis on this issue. And you know, as we've covered indictment number 1, indictment number 2, indictment number 3, and now indictment number 4, to quote the count, we are constantly asking the question, like, was there some sort of wrongdoing here? And what I continue to hear is that there's an overprosecution of each of these events, but that sometimes we hear from our friends like Andy McCarthy and our friends at Heritage Foundation. We've talked to Greg Jarrett about this many times, that the overreach doesn't always 100% excuse what Donald Trump did. Compare that statement. I think I heard Brian Kilmeade saying this, and I agree with the sentiment. I wish Donald Trump would have been more cooperative with his documents. I just do, because it would take this concern off the massive plate that they keep heaping helpings of slanted justice on top, and we have to deal with this as the American people because Donald Trump has to deal with this as their enemy. But there are times where I feel like Donald Trump makes it easier for them than others. That doesn't mean that they're right in doing so. It doesn't mean that they're justified in doing so. I think time is going to have to litigate that, and we'll have to sit here and watch and wait and see if justice is finally served. If you compare the questions that people like myself will even ask, gosh, it would have been great if Donald Trump would have just been more cooperative with those documents at Mar-a-Lago. It would have been great if Donald Trump would have been a little less combative. It would have been great, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so what? Maybe it would have. But to criticize even myself in the reality that we live in right now, where the hell are the people criticizing Joe Biden where it would have been great if you'd have been a little less corrupt and taken a little less than millions and millions and millions of dollars from foreign country to line your wallet and the wallets of your family? Actual corruption is being uncovered by the man who sits in the office of the presidency right now, and we don't give a damn in this country about that. And that is enraging. It's infuriating to sit here, and that is what is at the heart of the political issue that Americans face. That is incredibly different than the legal issues that Donald Trump faces. There are going to be people who are that are disgusted with Donald Trump the moment the sun peaks above the eastern horizon. And when it sets, they go to bed with their head on their pillow going, 4 indictments, I sleep well tonight. It's kind of weird, honestly, but his ability to live rent-free in the minds of so many people, even as he is no longer the president right now, they fear the day that he takes the oath of office and becomes the president once again. It is the thing that predominates their thoughts and their actions. And in a reality, in a logical reality where the ends justify the means, where Donald Trump never gracing the Oval Office again is the be-all, end-all. It's the altar that you worship at, then all of this stuff makes sense. If that's not your end goal, then you sit back in your chair and you're like, God, I hate this guy, but this is a little extra, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you're pushing it a little too hard. It's kind of becoming a little too obvious. There are Republicans that pre-indictments had their concerns about reelecting Donald Trump. Democrats, you put them in a jail cell, those Republicans are going to come out of the woodwork to vote against you. And if Donald Trump is the face to do it, honestly, it's the cherry on top. It is clear to anybody with 2 eyes and 2 ears and 2 brain cells to rub together that there is a pursuit of injustice against Donald Trump to keep him from becoming the president of the United States again. The suggestion that he tried to compromise our electoral process is something that they have been alluding to, honestly, since November 3rd of 2020. The idea that Donald Trump somehow or another tried to steal back the election is something that they have been pushing. And January 6th, this is a conversation I had with Andy McCarthy the last time he was on the show, but the whole riot on January 6th, suggesting that Donald Trump was out there trying to stoke that anger and rage and disruption, probably was the single most punitive thing that could have happened for Donald Trump to play out the scenario that he had in his brain about what happened in November of 2020. And I feel that a lot of what Donald Trump wanted to see play out wouldn't have played out the way he wanted it to, but it would have been healthy for America to watch the Constitution in action and to watch these challenges that went to courts all across the country. And I will remind you that these election situations across the country were challenged in the courts and they were thrown out on procedural issues. They were not litigated. The issues that were brought to the table to be looked at by the courts were dismissed on procedural concerns. We haven't had an honest, legitimate conversation about what happened in November of 2020 because everybody handshake agreed that we were not going to be allowed to talk about it. That's the point where I go, well, gosh darn it, I really want to talk about it now, and I don't even know what the outcome is. I'm not here to advocate that the election was stolen. I know that might be unpopular with some of you, and it might not be far enough of a statement for the others of you, but I don't know what happened because they didn't allow the conversation to take place. And I'm not willing to invest an emotional commitment to the statement that the election was stolen without having full evidence laid out in front of me that I can believe that isn't emotionally sensationalized because Donald Trump said it. The more that they push from the left, from the Biden Justice Department on this issue, the more I fear that their fear that Donald Trump will get back into the office of the presidency is going to expose something that they just cannot afford to allow to happen. I have no answers. I have what seems to be an infinite amount of questions, and I think most Americans are sitting right there with me. You don't know what to believe. You're not out there pounding your fist on the table saying that the election was stolen. Some of you are, and that's your right to do that in the United States of America. That is your First Amendment right, and I hope that they remember that Donald Trump has that First Amendment right as well. Unfortunately, it's going to take a little time. But a lot of you aren't out there saying that. A lot of you are like me and you think that COVID caused super relaxed rules that made it less easy to police, and maybe some things happened, but a lot of it happened before the election, the way we changed the laws and the process we went through, and it seems a little sketch. But you're not out there saying that Donald Trump won the election and the Democrats stole the election and so on and so forth, but you don't know the answer. And the more they don't allow you to pursue it, like, why can't you just ask the question and have a calm, collected conversation about it so you can get to the bottom of it? I haven't read the comments yet on the Annie Frey YouTube live yet. I don't know what they're saying right now, but I assume that there are going to be people who will question my patriotism for suggesting it maybe the election was stolen. But the same vein, I have people who are likely going to be sending me contacts, emails, direct messages saying, how can you not say that the election was stolen? Sitting in the middle going, I don't know what happened. I haven't been given sufficient proof, and nobody is willing to articulate the facts of the matter without a prevailing huge dose of emotion that goes behind it that makes me distrust the facts, because the emotion that is invested in it supersedes the idea that we're going to have a conversation. And then I could question what you're presenting to me so that we can have a conversation about it. I can push back and you can say, well, I appreciate that you said that. And then you give me more facts that subsidize the position that you take. We don't have those conversations in this country anymore. We're not allowed to. And it took an agenda-driven media partnered with big tech that could shut you up and cancel you should you step over the line. The amount of fear that exists in this country right now is frightening. And fear always takes over in the presence of ignorance. You fear what you don't know. And I don't know where the country is headed. I know where the Democrats are going to take it. The classic, we will lose our democracy unless you only vote for us. I don't know if we're talking about the same kind of democracy. Because in a democracy, in a republic, the kind of situation that we have here in the United States, I get to decide who I vote for. I get to decide who I support, not you. And when you come at me and tell me that unless I support your candidate, democracy dies, I just don't think you get it. Greg Jarrett's going to join us when we come back. He's a Fox News legal analyst. He's a former defense attorney and law professor, and he has covered the pursuit for Donald Trump for quite some time. He has multiple books that he has written on it. And I'm going to ask him what he thinks. We're going to get the Gregg Jarrett perspective on the issue when we come back. Joe Concha at 105 as well. And you with us here on the Annie Frey Show. You can watch us on the YouTube channel right now and go vote in today's YouTube live chat poll. Will you vote for your party's nominee? Yes or no? Leave a comment. Go vote. We'll be back in just a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
So I'm very excited to be talking to you about Gateway ENT once again. You remember Dr. Hardiman? He helped us get through years of health care craziness and to bring some common sense to the conversation. But the key thing about Dr. Hardiman is he's a great ENT. My husband is going to see him in less than a week, I think. We've got people around the office who have gone to see Dr. Hardiman. And honestly, one of the great things about all of the doctors at Gateway ENT, and I speak highly of all of them because there's a partner, they have a great partnership there, is that they often will take care of problems that you've been trying to have treated from other places. They can get it on the first time. And if you haven't reached out to them to schedule an appointment, they are taking new patients right now. They're a private practice. You get to be at the center of your health care with the doctors at Gateway ENT. And that private practice gives them the ability to make sure that when they send you out for referrals, when you need to go get lab tests or whatever it might be, they can help you find the most affordable places. They're not beholden to some large system that kind of predetermines where you're going to go. You are at the center of your care. It's as it should be at Gateway ENT. Check out any of the fabulous ENTs at Gateway ENT and schedule an appointment today. 314-843-3828. 314-843-3828. GatewayDRS.com.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2023. Saturday, August 19th, the Family Arena. Starring the Turtles, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gang, the Vogues, the Classics 4, and the Cowsills. Tickets are on sale now at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
John Michael Montgomery. Live. The multiple Grammy, CMA, and ACM award winner. John Michael Montgomery with McBride and the Ride. Friday, October 20th at the Family Arena. Reserved seats are on sale now at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. John Michael Montgomery, live in concert.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands to treat ED at up to 95% off. That's right, the same active ingredient as the brand name for 95% less. It's the same ED medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Annie Frey Show wants to give you free tickets to Military Appreciation Night at the ballpark Friday, August 18th. Just listen for the crack of the bat and we'll give you the phone number. Be the right caller, you win free tickets. Your chance to win by just listening to The Annie Frey Show.
This is The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
You can run the best campaign, you can even become the nominee, and you can have the election stolen from you.
Cheers. The crowd goes wild. That's let me look here in my notes. 2019 Hillary Clinton, where's her indictment? I actually have, I think I sent it to Brad, a 24-minute montage of Democrats denying elections. We had a question in the live chat earlier about Stacey Abrams. Who gets to deny elections and who doesn't? Let's ask our friend Greg Jarrett about that. He joins us now, Fox News legal analyst, a former defense attorney and law professor, and an author of many books that kind of bring us up to the point where we are right now, including The Russia Hoax and Witch Hunt. Greg, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show.
Hey, Annie, it's always good talking to you.
Thank you. You as well. I want to ask you to react to indictment number 4 in total, but also compare it to how other people have been able to question their own election losses, but somehow or another, Donald Trump, he doesn't get the same pass as, say, Stacey Abrams or Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I've never seen an indictment quite like this one, and I've been a lawyer for 43 years. This is really less of a legitimate indictment and more of a broad denunciation of Donald Trump himself. The DA claims that, you just read through all of these acts, more than 100 of them cited by the DA. She claims that, every Trump social media post, every public comment or speech, every message, telephone call, are somehow crimes. She declares that whatever Trump and his lawyers or aides said or did after the election were necessarily false, part of a conspiracy, and therefore racketeering. I mean, that is a stretch of the law beyond recognition. But more than that, it runs afoul of the First Amendment. The Supreme Court has said repeatedly that false claims are protected speech. So, It's not a crime for somebody to say the election was stolen. You just played a clip of Hillary Clinton who said it was stolen. And, of course, Stacey Abrams in Georgia did too. I guess she still thinks she's the governor there. But, of course, there are no consequences for them. And, the answer is, well, that's because they're engaging in protected speech. And they, too, took steps to challenge the results. They did it in 2001, 2005, 2017. I mean, Hillary Clinton worked with her supporters to challenge the certification of electors on January 6, 2017. Now, it didn't succeed, and nor did it succeed in 2021 when Donald Trump and his supporters tried to do it. The question is whether any of these steps were by themselves illegal. And I don't think so. I mean, even if a candidate, privately thinks or says, yeah, I probably lost, but they're still entitled, Annie, under the law to challenge the result. That's not fraud. It's not a criminal enterprise called racketeering. In Georgia and elsewhere, Trump and his lawyers were complaining in court filings about ballot irregularities, faulty machines, violation of election laws, valid votes not counted, and invalid votes that were counted. And in the end, those challenges did not succeed. But that doesn't make them fraudulent. Exercising your legal rights to challenge the integrity of voting systems is quite normal, not criminal. All losing candidates in close elections make the same claim. It's not defrauding the government if you are, believe you're acting lawfully and mounting a challenge.
Yeah. I think these are really important points that you're making. We're speaking with Greg Jarrett. He's a Fox News legal analyst. We're excited to have him on the show to react to indictment number 4. I'm going to read for you, Greg, some of the things from this indictment. This is from the documents that were released last night. On or about the 3rd day of December 2020, Donald John Trump caused to be tweeted from the Twitter account @RealDonaldTrump, quote, Georgia hearings now on @OANN. Amazing. And then it says this was an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. That's Act 22. Act 57. On or about the 11th day of December 2020, David James Schaefer reserved room 216 at the Georgia State Capitol in Fulton County, Georgia, for the December 14, 2020 meeting of Trump presidential elector nominees in Fulton County, Georgia. This was an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Act 6. On or about the 21st day of November 2020, Mark Randall Meadows sent a text message to United States Representative Scott Perry from Pennsylvania and stated, quote, can you send me the number for the speaker and the leader of Pennsylvania legislature? POTUS wants to chat with them, end quote. This was an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. I am no legal expert, far from it, which is why we speak with you, Greg Jarrett. But how are any of these 3 instances criminal behavior deserving of these kinds of indictments?
They're not, and they're silly allegations. It might as well be Trump woke up at 6 a.m. and took a shower. Those were overt acts in furtherance of a conspiracy because later in the day, he challenged the election results. This idea of bringing racketeering charges is so far-fetched. Racketeering requires proof of an organized criminal enterprise coupled with a repeated pattern of systematic illegal behavior. It normally involves extortion for money, profit, control of property, and so forth on a recurring basis. Well, here the DA is treating RICO like this elastic rubber band and stretching it until it snaps. I understand, and I have read Georgia's racketeering law. It's broad, but it ain't that broad. And this seems way beyond what racketeering was meant to cover.
Greg Jarrett joins us right now. Here's a question for you regarding that famous phone call between President Trump and those officials in Georgia, the Secretary of State included, and his phrase, I just need you to find me, 12,000 some votes. I kind of went in on this yesterday because the context of that comment is about Donald Trump's concern that there were multiple instances of fraud taking place in Georgia. And he was telling the Georgia officials, you don't have to go in all of them. You just have to find the one that you can prove. And 12,000 votes changes the direction of this election. Am I misunderstanding the context of that phone call between Donald Trump and these Georgia officials?
No, you're right about it. It has been misrepresented, not just by those in the media, but principally by Fani Willis, the district attorney in Fulton County, who in an earlier court filing, said her central focus is that phone call with the Secretary of State Raffensperger. And she claimed that Trump demanded that he, Raffensperger, find 11,780 votes. That's not what he said. Read the transcript. Trump said that he himself was looking to find roughly 11 or 12,000 votes because that represented his vote deficit. And, of course, he did say that. As I said before, all losing candidates say that sort of thing. They want to find the valid votes that were not counted properly and invalid votes that were counted. That's not a crime. He didn't ask Secretary of State to do something illegal or commit fraud. He was grousing about the vote count. And if you listen to the entirety of their conversation, he goes on and on, citing specific instances in which he believed there was voting impropriety, mistakes made, and he is demanding a recalculation and review based on what he believed to be faulty vote counting. So, as I said, this is a common demand, and it is allowed by law. So, I think that this is a district attorney who is utterly misconstruing and mangling the law and contorting the evidence and the facts.
One follow-up question on that is later on in that conversation, we've got a comment from Edward here and says, what about the part of the phone call where Trump tells Raffensperger that, quote, there's no shame in saying you've recalculated, end quote. The push here from the left is that Donald Trump was asking them to manufacture votes to change the election. Is that correct?
Yeah, but that's not how the conversation goes. He's not asking him to do anything improper or illegal. He's asking him to do his duty. He's trying to persuade him. And in fact, most of the conversation is not Trump, but Trump's lawyers laying out what they believe to be legitimate evidence of voting impropriety. And, they urge him over and over again, we want you to review this. You have a duty to review this. You're the Secretary of State. You're in charge of statewide elections. And, we have a right to petition the government for redress. That's what we're doing. That ain't criminal.
Last question for you. We're speaking with Greg Jarrett here. The reality of the situation is indictment number 4 has come down from Donald Trump. There are a lot of charges that are involved for him and a host of other people. Specifically to this instance, what kind of legal trouble is Donald Trump in?
Well, he's obviously, by virtue of 4 different indictments, in legal jeopardy. But I think you have to look at each one of them separately and make a decision as to whether or not they are defensible. I mean, in the first indictment, Alvin Bragg in New York over alleged hush money, I think it's utterly preposterous. He hasn't even stated the specific criminal code that Trump has violated. Why? Because there aren't any. The Federal Election Commission looked at it and said this is not a campaign contribution. There's no violation of the law. Bragg thinks he knows better. So I dismissed that one out of hand. The document case at Mar-a-Lago, that seems to be covered by the Presidential Records Act, which gives a former president authority over his presidential papers. And that's a civil statute. It should have been handled, with a civil motion to compel to comply with a subpoena. The January 6th case, I think, is overwrought as well, based on the same arguments I just made, that the Supreme Court says that false claims are protected speech. And yet Jack Smith seems to be ignoring or defying the Supreme Court rulings on that. So, all of these are different cases, although I will say the Georgia case is in many ways redundant of the January 6th federal case. But, is it a coincidence that all of these are coming at once, just months before voters go to the polls in the Republican primaries? That's not a coincidence.
Yeah, it is not. Well, you might have to install a sequel to the book that you wrote called Witch Hunt, because there seems to be more material to cover, and we know you're on top of it. Greg Jarrett, thank you for your time today.
My pleasure, Annie. Good talking to you.
You as well. Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett, former defense attorney and law professor, and author of multiple books, including Witch Hunt, The Russia Hoax, and The Trial of the Century. Check out Greg Jarrett's books. Wherever books are sold, he'd be happy for you to check those out as well. Appreciate his time. The YouTube live chat poll for today: will you vote for the party's nominee, your party's nominee? Yes or no? I know that a lot of you don't want to vote yes or no. You want to vote somewhere in the middle, but I'm not going to allow it. You'll have to abstain. You have to take your vote home and be sad about it. Just come to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote yes or no. And if you can't bring yourself to do it, then let us hear all about it in the YouTube comments. We're going to take a quick break. Wiggins America in studio. You know how Wiggins loves the polls. He's going to give us some polls to give us some pictures of what the American population looks like today and whatever that means to Ryan Wiggins. In studio here on the Annie Frey Show when we return.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Stewart's American Mortgage, 314-324-4440. Oh, man, those rates, they keep going up, which is maybe you're like, Annie, why would you talk about rates going up if you're trying to tell people to get your mortgage from Stewie? Because sometimes you're moving and you need to get a new mortgage, or maybe debt. Everything is up. I heard him talking on the news economic report about how inflation is down to 3%. That's 3% cumulative on what it was last year. So 16% inflation right now, everything costs more. You might find yourself in need of tapping into some of the equity in your home. Is it the best situation? No, but that might be where you are right now. And facing your situation head on with Stewie might be the smartest move that you can make. Stewart at Stewart's American Mortgage will help you acquire the mortgage that you need or the refinance that is going to help you get out of some debt that you're looking at. And he is going to position you for the best possible outcome. I've talked to him before about things. I'm like, maybe I should do this, this, or this. And he'll say, Annie, that's not what's best for you. He's going to be honest with you, and he's going to help you navigate the situation. And if you do need a mortgage, if you do need a refinance, there's no smarter place to go than Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Google the Big Loan, NMLS number 226715.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisor Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. I have many female clients and widows that don't fully understand their investment choices. Would you like a retirement review and a second opinion on your current retirement plan? Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying, and would you like to learn how you can avoid those fees? Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees for the past 37 years. Let our family help your family. So go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hi. This is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
AM radio provides always-on news, sports, talk, traffic, and weather reports. It also delivers vital emergency information when your community needs it most. A new bill in Congress would ensure AM radio stays in your car, because when cell and internet services are down, this free emergency service is critical. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Joe Concha coming up at 1:05. Wiggins America is next. The YouTube live chat poll is, will you vote for your party's nominee? Yes or no? Log into the Annie Frey Show YouTube page, and let us know what your pick on that poll is today. The time right now, 12:48. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, I'm asking you to save a life. I'm Mark Reardon, inviting you to join us for our annual blood drive in memory of Brett Bloom. Call 800-RED-CROSS or visit redcrossblood.org and use sponsor code KMOX.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Do the dance. Ryan, Hannah doesn't have any idea what you're doing. Do you?
Is that the jive?
What did you just say? Is that the jive? Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins!
In honor of the late, great Pee Wee Herman.
What's the jive?
Paul Rubens. Apparently it was that.
Yeah.
No.
Everybody could hear you doing that dance in their heads.
Heck yeah.
What
I
was
did it
except for
forward and
Hannah,
backward.
who was the closest person to you?
That was the precursor to the gritty, Hannah.
Gritty. What was that dance called that you were just doing, really?
The Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just the Pee Wee Herman dance.
There's no name for it other than, if you say Pee Wee Herman dance, Hannah, this would be a fun video. If you went out into the office.
Oh, this would be great.
And said to 10 people, do the Pee Wee Herman dance, how many of them would do the Pee Wee Herman dance?
Okay, we'll try it.
Will you?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Oh, man.
Because people will know.
People walking by the studio right now doing it.
Are they really?
Outside. No
Yeah,
kidding.
Yeah. Tequila.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I actually forgot about that dance until just recently when you saw it everywhere because he passed away. But now I don't know that I'll ever hear that song and not think of that dance.
I was
again.
already there.
Were
How
you?
would you? Yeah. I hear tequila and I'm like, yeah. And then the second dance is the one from the Ninja Turtles, original Ninja Turtles movie.
Tequila doesn't exist in my head apart from Pee
Exactly.
Wee Herman. And never
The
has.
song or the drink?
The song.
Okay.
I have a lot of other associations with the drink. It's delicious. Margaritas?
If you put...
Is this what Wiggins America is about?
Yeah,
Okay.
platform shoes is how you really do it well.
Which is, I mean, kind of like, it's kind of the style today. White platform tennis shoes.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
What's Hannah wearing right now?
White
platform tennis shoes?
platform tennis shoes.
Okay, now you do that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's actually I'm
Huh?
pretty good.
It's
I'm
not
impressed
bad.
with your flexibility.
Physical peak. That's what she told me out there a minute ago. She actually said, you want a drink of this? And it was Prime. It was a drink called Prime. And I said, I can't drink that. I'm not in my prime. The polling of the day is, there's a multitude of them. I'm going to start with this one. It's a new poll that found that exactly half of Americans have tried marijuana at some point in their life. Is it surprising to you that that number is 50%? Should it be higher? Should it be lower?
50% smoke marijuana?
Have tried it
Tried
at
marijuana?
some point in their life.
Does it say
Not
smoked?
they actively smoke it, but they have tried it.
It doesn't surprise me.
I think that sounds about right.
Listen to the way that this has grown. When Gallup started asking Americans about their marijuana habits in 1969, 4% said they had tried pot. In less than a decade, so 1970.
I think we're just more honest.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah, for sure.
But track with the poll here
it's
because
legal.
in less than a decade, so 1979-ish, that number rose by 20 points to 25%, 24%. By 1985, 33%. 2015, it finally broke 40%. And now, I mean, this isn't even 10 years later, and we're at 50%.
Yeah, but how many states have legalized it? I mean, the idea that you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I do that illegal activity, or have tried it. People aren't going to admit to that, but it's feeling pretty legal these days.
Wouldn't you also think, though, that the usage of marijuana is also rising with the honesty in the poll?
Of course.
I would think so.
Well, I think the practical
It's
use
less
of marijuana
stigmatized.
and the medicinal use of marijuana is much more elevated, which I think the previous ones would, generally speaking, be deemed recreational.
Which political party would you guess uses marijuana more often?
Admittedly, the Democrats.
It is the Democrats. No. It is. Democrats 57% to Republicans 39% as current.
I bet there are Republicans that are lying about that, and I bet there are Democrats that are lying that they
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I smoke pot all the
With their
time.
friends.
I'm hip. I'm cool. I'm
Walking
cool.
around
I'm a
the
cool
mall.
mom.
You want to take a poll? Oh, yeah. I've tried pot all the time.
Yeah.
Of course I do. All right. Another poll from CBS News here shows how Americans rate the economy, but through a partisan lens. Is this any surprise to anybody? During Bush 1, H.W. Bush, and Clinton, the parties were basically aligned in that we thought it was not great during Bush. It got really good during Clinton. Then during George W. Bush, there is a dramatic shift in the way the parties view the economy. During George W. Bush, Republicans thought it was pretty darn good right up until the end when it dips off hard. Democrats, the exact opposite. Right when Bush takes office, after 9/11, actually, they started rating the economy terribly. The partisan divide was very wide. That continued in reverse during Obama, but it starts low for everybody, and then it rises fast for Democrats who say, well, Obama's doing a great job. And then throughout his 8 years, it goes up fast. Republicans, very, very slow. Then it's never wider than guess who? Donald Trump, Republicans. And the problem is here that you're actually talking about the reality of a pretty darn good economy during Donald Trump. Republicans acknowledging at levels that Bill Clinton got that it was great, and Democrats just never crossing the 50% threshold saying that it was a good economy. And now, of course, it's reversed, and Democrats are saying, well, it's decent, and
Could be
Republicans
worse.
are saying
The
it's
economy
terrible.
could be great, and Donald Trump could be president. So am I right?
Exactly.
It can always be worse.
This goes
Donald
to
Trump
show
could be
you,
the president.
That's exactly right. That we live now in a world where the old axiom of, well, it's the economy, stupid. I don't know that that's even the single driver of votes anymore. People have so made up their minds on issues that don't have anything to do with the economy that they're now viewing the economy differently than the reality that's in front of them that maybe isn't affecting their own pocketbooks. It's pretty remarkable. And we'll end on that one simply because we're running out of time, and that is a ridiculous look at the last 20 years of American politics and how far apart we've gotten.
GOP debate watch party?
August 23rd, come join us at Dave & Buster's. We'll be there starting around 7 o'clock through the end of the debate.
Wherever you are right now, stop what you're doing and do the dance. The
Okay.
Pee Wee Herman dance. We'll be right back.
We've learned anything from recent news, it's that unexpected things are happening. Your gut tells you there's something very wrong going on, and all the evidence suggests that there is. Government emails are hacked. There's talk of how to fight World War III, and trade of grains and food are being disrupted. Those in charge say everything's fine. Stop noticing. But you know better. It's time to invest in self-reliance and emergency food storage now, more than ever. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, is the place you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunch, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save 25%, plus get free shipping on all their 3-month emergency food kits. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. It's time to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Paramount Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Paramount Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
No comment from the White House on Lisa Brady. Fox News, they're declining to weigh in on the latest Trump indictment, his 4th set of criminal charges coming in Fulton County, Georgia, where prosecutors claim a criminal enterprise to overturn election results.
The former president has been indicted along with 18 others, including his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and former Trump attorneys Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell on various individual charges, but all 19 defendants are accused of violating Georgia's racketeering law, which carries a maximum prison sentence of 20 years. The former president posted on social media that he's holding a news conference this coming Monday where he will reveal what he calls irrefutable evidence of election fraud in the 2020 presidential election here in Georgia.
Fox's Jonathan Seri in Atlanta, Trump predicting exoneration. An advisor to Giuliani telling reporters today he is a consummate warrior. President Biden making another pitch for Bidenomics, set to speak in Wisconsin, where the White House says he will also talk about the wildfires on Maui, where the number of dead has risen to at least 99, with hundreds still missing and thousands have lost homes. The state of New Jersey wants a court to tap the brakes on a new policy in 3 school districts requiring teachers to notify parents if their children make a request to change their gender identity. A Superior Court judge hearing arguments in the state's move for an injunction.
Today in court, the state argued that schools should be a, quote, safe haven for transgender students, and that schools facilitating their coming out to their parents could put transgender kids' safety and well-being at risk. But the president of the Middletown School Board tells Fox parents can't help their children if they don't know what's going on.
Fox's Nate Foy in Freehold, New Jersey. Governor Phil Murphy's administration is suing the school districts, arguing the notification policies would violate the state's anti-discrimination law. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart.
Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Hey, you're up next. Ugh, my throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Changeable skies and a little taste of early fall around town as we go through our Tuesday afternoon. A mix of clouds and sunshine. 78 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. 70 to 75 for evening plans. Low humidity. Chilly overnight. 58. Wednesday, sunny and nice, 82. Thursday, sunny. Let's try to warm it up Thursday afternoon to 88 degrees. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group helps you get into your worry-free retirement, your transition from a hardworking individual who has saved over the course of the years that you have been trying to build up a retirement that you can rely on. You want to make sure that it's going to be there and give you that worry-free retirement you've been dreaming of. That's where Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw, and the Retirement Advisory Group come in. When you sit down and you have a no-cost, no obligation retirement review with the folks at the Retirement Advisory Group, they're going to tell you the tips and tricks you need to know to make sure you don't have to rely on market gains or fear market losses when it comes to your retirement savings. You can make an appointment by calling 314-993-9494 today. 314-993-9494. Set up an appointment and listen to what they have to say. It literally costs you nothing to do this. You can take the information that they're going to provide you and see if it works for you. And I think you, like many other Annie Frey Show and 97.1 listeners, will say, I'm so glad that I found the Retirement Advisory Group. Find them online at retirementkey.com.
Mark Cox here. Before you sell your home, you should know what it's worth in today's market. Call my friend Gloria Lou. She'll tell you. With 20 plus years of experience, Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty has been successfully selling homes in your area for more money than the average agent. Gloria has multiple selling options that give you the power of how and when your home is sold. A few of Gloria's options include bringing multiple cash offers from her substantial pool of investors, a zero commission program, and don't forget Gloria's guaranteed sale program. Why can Gloria guarantee the sale of your home? Because her database of buyers is huge, and she's so confident she can sell your home, she'll put her own money where her mouth is. Call your local real estate expert today. Call Gloria Lou at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Fox Across America has landed on St. Louis's home for conservative talk, weeknights at 6.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon in the house. Starting Monday, August 21st, I'm joining the 97.1 team. This is not a drill, folks. It's the real thing.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Some summer items should not be mixed in with your curbside recycling. Items like garden hoses, plastic planters, pool toys, squirt guns, and lawn chairs are generally not recyclable and are best donated to charity. If you have a question as to whether an item can be recycled, look at the recycling triangle and number, usually on the bottom of the product. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Mark Reardon sees clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Maholtred Ophthalmology Associates. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today. That's youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Congress needs to stop investigating a private citizen and stop this fishing expedition to try to link President Biden to Hunter Biden's conduct.
Hunter Biden's being subjected here to a level of not only scrutiny, but accountability that most mere mortals would not.
Hunter Biden, he could be a terrible guy. I don't know, never met him, is being treated worse than anyone else would be.
This is the son of the president. He's not the candidate. He's not a political officer. Doesn't even begin to compare to classified documents and to the indictment here in D.C.
Oh, what you know, Joe. Joe Concha, columnist at The Messenger.
Joe, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. The most persecuted person in Washington, D.C. and in politics right now, Hunter Biden. What do you think about that?
He's a victim. He's always a victim, right?
Yeah,
he should have got $600,000 for those finger painting exhibitions that he had put together, with no art experience whatsoever. I've never seen somebody parlay not having any experience in anything into millions upon millions of dollars. Energy sector, no problem. Artist, he becomes Leonardo da Vinci, no problem, right? It's just remarkable. But again, the story is not Hunter Biden, and this is what you played that montage before from MSNBC, CNN, and so on, where they're talking about how Hunter Biden's being unfairly prosecuted. That's a dodge. That's a deke, I should say, probably. This is about Joe Biden, right? And the fact that, let's put it this way, Donald Trump Jr. sat down for one meeting at Trump Tower in 2015 with a Russian lawyer to talk about adoption, and you had Jake Tapper screaming on CNN that was a smoking gun. That showed that there was Trump-Russia collusion that changed an election, one meeting with somebody who wanted to talk about adoption. Here you have Joe Biden on at least 20 phone calls with Hunter Biden's business partners, people that he worked for in Kazakhstan, in Russia, in Ukraine, and China. He also attended dinners with some of these same folks. We have now bank records showing $20 million being fed into shell companies, which were then dispersed to the Biden family, 10 of them, 10 total members, $20 million, and we're supposed to believe that the head of the family, the whole reason why even $1 was paid to the Bidens, Joe Biden, vice president at the time, didn't receive $1 or any benefits whatsoever when he has multi-million-dollar homes in Wilmington, Delaware, and Rehoboth Beach. There is so much evidence here, and yet all I hear about, obviously, cover Trump. Yep, there's all those indictments, all these trials. I get it completely. But can we get even a 30-70 split as far as reporters doing their jobs and digging into this sort of stuff as far as Joe Biden's concerned? Because as far as I can see, that is far more consequential if you have a sitting vice president, now president, who is compromised by the likes of China than Donald Trump making a phone call saying we have to find 11,000 votes in a recount. Give me a break.
Right, totally. Political columnist at The Messenger, Fox News contributor, Joe Concha is with us right now. Also, author of a great book you should check out, Come On, Man, The Truth About Joe Biden's Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Presidency, which I will add just continues to get worse. Is, in your mind and in the viewpoint of common sense Americans right now, are the Hunter Biden, Joe Biden investigations connected to the Donald Trump indictments?
Well, if you look at the timeline, it seems like we have a Trump indictment having every time Joe Biden may have some problems, right? You see the Devin Archer testimony. That was Hunter Biden's primary business partner and friend. He testifies before Capitol Hill last week, and then a day later there's a Trump indictment, right? And there's a whole timeline around all these trials are going to start around whether it be the Iowa caucuses. I believe a trial starts there with Jack Smith 10 days before votes begin there, and you could go all the way up through different primary moments, and these trials will most likely go all the way through the 2024 election. That's the whole point, Annie. to take the focus off of Joe Biden, which is exactly what Democrats in the White House want. They don't want people talking about inflation. They don't want people talking about wages or the border or crime or education or foreign policy. I could go through the list in terms of where this president is polling vastly underwater and underperforming, and oh, by the way, his own scandals. Take him off the radar, and the media will be more than happy to do that because Biden doesn't rate the way Trump does. That's the whole goal here, to make it 2020 all over again, where you have Joe Biden pleading the fifth while asking to be reelected, while Donald Trump is front and center, but not Trump's policies, which many people, if you take away Trump the person, if you just ask them, hey, do you think we should have a secure border? Hey, do you think we should have more police on the street? Hey, do you think we should have attorney generals and district attorneys that actually enforce law? Hey, do you like higher taxes or lower taxes? All these things people will agree with. They want that all gone. They want it to be about Trump the person versus Joe Biden, the guy who isn't as bad, and just look the other way. Do not pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Joe Concha with us right now. To me, if you compare the timeline of Donald Trump being on the political scene, it's never really about the end result of the accusations that come from the pundits and the narrative-driven media. It's just always about what can we squeeze out of this rag right now. It's always it's kind of an exhausting news cycle to have to cover, but how many times have they pushed out these ideas that are supposed to taint the image of Donald Trump, and that's the value. It's not the end result of what is determined through investigations. It's just the time that they get to cover these stories. And it seems as though the timeline that is in front of us is the November 2024 election. How do Americans respond to what is obvious to you and me? We're kind of nerds about this stuff, but there's a lot of people out there trying to live their lives. Joe Biden keeps saying, Bidenomics, man, that's the way to go. What do you think that the American person does see if they're outside of the political sphere?
They feel, right? They don't need a chart that Biden puts out showing, hey, we've created 15 million jobs in 2 years. That's more than any president ever had in 4. You're like, wow, this guy's an economic genius. I mean, given his business background and time in the private sector, of course, there has been no time as a businessman or running a business or in the private sector for Joe Biden. So you say, how did he create 15 million jobs when all these other presidents didn't even come close to that or even lost jobs in their first 2 years, like, the Obama-Biden administration? The answer is that it's gaslighting, right? And Joe Biden didn't create any jobs. The pandemic basically eased down to the point where it's basically over. It is over in my mind, but in some people's mind, maybe not. I just saw somebody driving alone with the mask on, which is really weird to me, but fine. The point is that everybody got their jobs back or they were restored, right? In other words, you can't say these are new jobs. They're not. They're restored mostly for the most part. And so that's the way it works. And people know at home that they still go to the grocery store. They're like, this is ridiculous how much this is. And then inflation's going back up again. And don't tell me, we're bringing inflation down. When inflation goes below 1.3%, which that's what it was when Donald Trump left office. If it goes down from there, then you could say you dropped inflation. Until then, you can't have inflation go to 9%, and you drop it down to 6%, and you say, wow, see, we're lowering inflation. That's not how it works. It's like me gaining 60 pounds and then in 3 months, and then the next month I only gain 10, and I say, hey, look, I'm losing weight. No, I'm not losing weight. I'm still gaining weight. I'm just not getting it as fast. That's how inflation works, but that's how the Biden mind works, which is if I just lower the amount of weight that I'm gaining, then we could call it decreasing weight that we're gaining.
Perfect.
Get what I mean?
Perfect analogy. Yes.
Thank
well
you.
said, Joe Concha. I have talked to you about the Republican primary, and the story is changing with the timeline that we're looking at right now, I think, about who's formidable and who's not. And to me, everything is downstream from Donald Trump, regardless. I've said many times that I think Ron DeSantis would be a great president, and I said that before anybody had announced that they were running at all. But to me, it seems like it's Donald Trump's to lose or to abdicate, and I'm looking at the Republican Party going, there must be something the Democrats are so desperate to protect that Donald Trump is their biggest fear that could possibly exist. How do Republicans coalesce around such a polarizing figure like Donald Trump?
Wow, Annie, I go back and forth. At one hand, it seems like they really, really want Trump to be the nominee for all the reasons that we just mentioned, that then it doesn't come about policies anymore and the focus goes off of Joe Biden's record. On the other hand, it really also seems that they really, really want to put him in jail, and then it's really hard to be president. So, look, Donald Trump this Monday is going to hold a press conference, right? And he's going to lay out what he says is irrefutable evidence that the election was stolen from him in 2020, particularly in the state of Georgia. And it's been 3 years, and if you could show me irrefutable evidence, right, I would think we would have seen it by now. That's all I'm saying. Now, does he have something new all right, fine, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But this is where he just keeps stepping on rake after rake on himself. He's now taken the bait. All right, Georgia now says, okay, all these indictments, right, and you have to appear in court here. And now he's going to go forward and say, all right, here's my evidence, right? And it all becomes about that again. It all becomes about 2020. I wish he would say that, look, I've been on the record in terms of what I think happened in 2020. I've been very clear about what I think happened. But I'm not going to talk about that anymore. I'm going to talk about how I'm going to save this country, and I'm going to talk about the future moving forward and why you should elect me for 4 more years. Instead, he keeps going back and takes the bait on 2020. So now I got to hear about this. I got to see January 6th in a loop for the next 9 months. It never ends. And again, it takes the focus off of, let's put it this way. You put generic Democrat versus generic Republican. Let me make it DeSantis versus Newsom, okay? The 2 young guns of the party, you could say, and they're both governors of big states. Which state would you like to resemble more? Right. Florida, with no income taxes, 50-year low in crime, education going the right way in terms of parents' rights? Or do you want California, highest tax rate in the country, highest poverty rate in the country, highest homeless rate in the country, biggest exodus out of any state in the country? If you just make it about that and you take out the personalities, the Republicans win easily. But now this is what we're faced with, and it's going to be an election that comes down to a few thousand votes.
Joe Concha with us.
Great.
I want to ask you the question, what's more influential in your mind? Biden's awful record and the experience people are living right now, or Trump's ability to turn out votes for him and against him?
Oh, boy. You're asking some good questions today.
Thank you. I wrote that one down, actually.
Good for you. For him, as far as Trump, absolutely. But then it's a wash, right? It's like Vegas where, you get a 21 deal against a 21. They slap their hands. They say, all right, push, right? Or they pound their fist on the table twice, actually. When they leave the table, they clap their hands.
You know these rules a lot. You're good at those rules.
Too much. Pay for the kids' college. The point is, so Trump energizes the other side unlike any other. Joe Biden, though, has a very, very, very big problem, and that is even if you look away from his record that we talked about before, he always had I'm the guy who exhibits empathy. I am the family man. I'm going to bring normalcy back to the White House. No drama, Obama. It's going to be the same thing with Biden, and at least with me, you know that I care. And you see what's happening with Maui now. And you see that this is probably going to be the worst fire in U.S. history in terms of fatalities. We're already over 100 deaths. It's already the worst fire we've seen in over 100 years. You're talking about 88,000 structures gone, and most of those are residents, right? And then Biden announces on Twitter, we're laser focused and we could offer each family $700. Well, I'm sorry. When each home is worth 6 figures, $700 doesn't get you very far. And by the way, he's barely said anything about it. He keeps saying no comment when asked about this and smiling when he does it, which is really weird, right? So he's lost the empathy thing and he's lost the normalcy thing. And obviously you can't trust him because he has his own scandals. So it's a hold your nose election, I guess, at this point. And you know how it's going to work. People will vote. Let's put it this way. How much time do I have?
As long as you want. I got till 3 p.m. Central.
Oh, good.
Keep going.
All right. Wasn't sure a hard break. We know about those.
No hard break.
All right. So Kristen Soltis Anderson, who's a very good pollster, and she does focus groups, right? And she's worked at a lot of different places, so you can't call her partisan or any way, shape, or form. So she gets together 11 Biden voters from 2020, right? And she asked a series of questions. First question was, do you think Joe Biden's a strong leader? All 11 answer no. Wow. Are you disappointed with the Joe Biden presidency? Well, obviously all 11 answer no. Do you want him to run again in 2024? All 11 answer no. Who are you going to vote for in 2024? All answered Biden. Wow. So then she stops and she says, wait a minute, you just said that he's not strong, you're disappointed, and you don't want to run again. Why would you vote for him? Because the alternative is worse. That's how this election is going to go. Yeah, unfortunately,
it is. That is such an interesting poll too. I think a lot of people out there feel that similar way too. So we'll have to wait and see. Joe, we always appreciate your time with us today. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Annie. Talk to you soon.
Yep, you as well. Bye bye. He's the author of Come On, Man. Kind of have to say it like that. The truth about Joe Biden's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad presidency. And as I've said to him before, that's going to have to turn into a series because I can't imagine that when he published that's the sum total of where we are today. I love Joe. He's really great to the show. I'm grateful that he gave us that time today. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Ryan Wiggins is back in studio with us. We're going to talk about today's YouTube live chat poll. And we want your comments. We'll feature some of them when we return as well. Will you vote for your party's nominee? Yes or no? I said something yesterday on the air. I said something to the effect of maybe we should just have the vote be Democrat Party or Republican Party. And then after the winner, the Republicans and the Democrat parties get to pick who they put up there. Of course, that's never going to happen, nor should it. But that's kind of the way people are voting in this time and age. We'll get to the results of the poll at the end of the show, but your comments when we come back.
Couldn't even see a movie show.
So what you know, Joe?
I just
This is the Annie Frey Show.
What you know, Joe?
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Hey, stop your squawking, just ain't talking, 'cause I don't know.
Ruler Foods, simple, smart, fresh. If you were looking to save in your grocery bill, and who's not, because inflation is ridiculous. I don't think that's what they want me to say right now in this spot. But it's true. It is. It's expensive to go to the grocery store. I don't know anybody of any income level, of any household income value, who isn't looking to save money on their grocery bill. The Frey family goes to Ruler Foods to save every time we shop. Right now, you can save on Heritage Farm drumsticks, thighs, or whole chicken fryers, 87 cents a pound. Kroger 80% lean ground beef. It's sold in a 3-pound roll for $3.33 a pound. And cherries, $2.97 a pound. I love cherries in the summer, and I'm soaking up as much of the summer as I possibly can get before it is over. Go to Ruler Foods and save when you shop. They have their name brands. They have Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices. And you can find the Ruler Foods closest to you by going to rulerfoods.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-399-9407 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-399-9407. That's 800-399-9407. What do you have to lose? Call 800-399-9407. Again, 800-399-9407.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Brian Kilmeade from Fox.
It took David Weiss 5 years to cut a bad deal. What could he do now?
Weekdays from 3 to 6. The Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Ah, yes. Well, looky here, what do we have? Another
This Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
I love you so. Hey, that's what you'll say. You'll tell me, baby, baby, please don't go away. But when I play, I never stay. So every girl that I meet, yeah, this is what I say.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Packed show so far. The rest of it's going to be just total laziness.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's
lazy this thing up.
That's how we get Ryan in here and try to ease things up. We had Greg Jarrett on at 12:25. So an hour ago, if you get on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, download it. You can stream 97.1 clearly, crystal clear, anywhere you go. And you can also rewind it up to 24 hours prior to the time that you've accessed that app. So if you want to hear Greg Jarrett, if you missed it, talk about Trump indictment number 4. We started that around 12:25 or so. It was a really interesting conversation with him. And then Joe Concha on with us at 1:05. And interesting to hear what he has to say about all of these hot button issues as well. The YouTube live chat poll for today is, will you vote for your party's nominee, yes or no? Carlo says, I will vote for any Republican because anyone is better than what the left has out there. Ryan, what do you think?
For all practical reasons, I would answer yes to this question, but there is a scenario in which I would not. So I almost would have to say no, just in case. If it were Chris Christie, for instance, that won the GOP nomination, and it was RFK Jr. that won the Democrat nomination.
You would vote for RFK Jr.?
I might vote for Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
What are Chris Christie's policies that you disagree with?
I don't necessarily think that he's that conservative. I think that he is conservative for New Jersey. But what particular policy? I don't think he's that fiscally conservative generally. I think that he's...
You think he would be less fiscally conservative than RFK Jr.?
No, but I wouldn't be voting on fiscal policy with those two. I would be voting on basically what are you going to do with the deep state, which he seems to have no interest in addressing. Chris Christie.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting take. What do you think, Brad? On the poll. Will you vote for your party? Because Ryan's a no. Will you vote for your party's nominee? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm going to vote for my party's nominee. I'm a yes. Even Chris Christie. I mean, if you give me Joe Biden or Chris Christie, or you give me Joe Biden or Gavin Newsom or Chris Christie, I'm still taking Chris Christie over either of those two. I'm taking Chris Christie over Michelle Obama. So I'm going through my brain about all the worst case scenarios that the Democrats could present. And there's just none. And
put yourself through the scenarios of the best case scenario that the Democrats could present.
So I'm thinking, like, well, what about a Joe Manchin? I think Joe Manchin is just a moderate Democrat, and Chris Christie is a moderate Republican, and a moderate Republican is better than a moderate Democrat, in my opinion. So I'm still going Christie over Manchin.
Imagine voting for RFK Jr. and there being such a divided ticket that the Republicans have Congress and RFK Jr. is in the presidency and he's not signing bills at the Republican Congress because people were like, oh, Chris Christie hurts my feelings.
I don't know that he wouldn't sign a lot of them, though. I think that he's pretty independent and he would probably look at everything individually. I think there's some climate stuff that he would be pretty hardcore on, though.
What are the Republican or what are the conservative viewpoints that RFK Jr. brings to the table that you would support over a Republican?
Well, it's like we've talked about before where the Venn diagrams used to be left and right, and they've almost switched to where you have to also add top and bottom now. He seems to represent that bottom one where he's willing to take on the top, because some of the stuff he's said about the administrative state, man, I really think that is such a huge problem in the United States that I'm willing to vote for somebody who I disagree, like Tulsi Gabbard, for instance.
I like to think about a lot of things in the context of a Venn diagram. I love Venn diagrams.
Thank you.
Always ask, is there a Venn diagram for this? I'm telling you, it's fascinating when you do.
For me, there's a Venn diagram that goes left, right, top, bottom, and then there's one that Kamala sits in on her own, and that is a Venn diagram of Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams so much that I will vote for Kamala regardless.
How do you feel about a yellow school bus?
Not as much as she feels for him.
If you had plugs, you could plug in your laptop on them. That'd be unbelievable. I'd love to hear a whole speech about that if she'd be willing to give
I think we found your nominee.
Zelda says, that is the only certainty I have about this election is I will 100% vote for the Republican candidate. Ripper here says, I will vote for the nominee except for Trump. The only reason he does anything is to receive attention and adulation. I would challenge that, Ripper, that if the only reason he does anything is to receive attention and adulation, that's really not the state of circumstances for him right now. Actually, what he's done for this country has gotten him the opposite of adulation. Certainly a lot of attention, but I can't imagine that this is the type of attention he was seeking out. Katie says, yes, I see no viable alternative to voting either red or blue since not enough people will vote for another color or party, so I will vote for the red choice. Doing that in 2016 got me Trump. So Katie agrees with that. KK says, yes, 100% will vote my party's nominee. All my party's candidates have conservative values. Ryan thinks differently.
Some of them are not.
Go back to answering this question. What about RFK Jr. is conservative to you?
I don't even put that label on him. I don't. I put him as anti-establishment, and that's what I like about him.
But what does that mean?
It means that he is willing to take on all of the alphabet soup agencies that and maybe go in and gut them in a way that a president's going to have to do eventually, hopefully very soon, because it is strangling. I mean, these law enforcement agencies right now that are basically just prosecuting one side of the political aisle at that level, that stuff needs to stop right now.
Yeah, but is he on record talking about the DOJ prosecuting only one side? I know he's on record talking about the FBI and CIA. I know. I have zero doubt in my brain that if he were president, he would go in and he would scatter those two agencies into the wind.
But to interject here, a lot of that has to do with his own personal family interests, not... It's compounded, I'm sure, about this point in time. But if you're a Kennedy...
Right.
So...
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with that. That comes from that, but I haven't seen anything about him that he would go after the DOJ or DEA.
Well, he would in effect as president run the DOJ, so he could pick whoever he wants to run the DOJ, and I think that would take care of that.
Well,
but
again,
things he said about the FBI and CIA, I do like.
If he's picking the attorney general, what evidence do we have of him saying that I'm going to pick somebody that's going to clean up the DOJ?
Well, what evidence do you have that he won't? I mean, I get the sense from everything that he says that he will.
Because he hasn't mentioned it or talked about it.
Do you have evidence that Chris Christie is like, I love the Department of Justice exactly the way it is?
No, but somebody who goes against what is he... When you have a candidate right now that is highly critical of Trump in ways about the way he's going about things, and he's brought this on himself and that kind of stuff, I don't get the sense from Christie that he's going to step in there and be like, you know what the problem is? The system. He seems to be more of a part of the system. Now, that's perception. I can't tell you, well, it's because of
Mike
this
Pence,
quote and that quote.
I would think Mike Pence would be too.
I agree.
So would you vote for RFK over Pence?
No, because Pence does have conservative credentials. I don't know. That would be really tough for me because those are two clashing issues where he is conservative policy-wise for sure. But he hasn't said
what are the policies? You haven't answered the question, though, of how Chris Christie is not conservative.
I just don't get the sense that he is. I don't know. I don't know that
it's a feeling.
It is more of a feeling of what he says publicly. The issues he's made central to his campaign are not ones that I care about.
But your understanding of his conservative policies, there's no policy position that Chris Christie has taken that you disagree with.
Well, I mean, give me some time and I'll look up and see whether or not I fully agree or disagree with like particular votes that he's made, because I can't tell you offhand. But
Pistol Pete here says, for president of the United States, Annie, Adam Kinzinger or RFK Jr.?
RFK.
Man,
I've already said I'm all about voting for Adam Kinzinger for governor of the state of Illinois. Over there, I would not have a single qualm about voting for Adam Kinzinger for governor if he was the Republican nominee and the current situation, Pritzker, was the Democrat. None. No problem whatsoever. I despise Adam Kinzinger for what he has done in Congress, but J.B. Pritzker is ruining the state of Illinois day by day, and he has no checks on him whatsoever in Illinois government to stop him from doing that, which is what I fear, that a Democrat getting elected, if it goes with a Democrat Congress, will take our country into a place it cannot be reclaimed. And I mean, Adam Kinzinger isn't running for president of the United States, but Kinzinger voted very conservatively. He was butthurt over Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm sorry, your position on Donald Trump is no litmus test for me for anything, ever. If Donald Trump is being persecuted by a justice system that is running on political motives, that the issue there is what the justice system is doing to our country, and Donald Trump is the unlikely recipient of all of that. And I care about Donald Trump in the element that he would be the recipient of that, but the problem to solve here is the Justice Department. It's the epicenter is not Donald Trump for me. I know that's not the case for everybody. Some people, every decision starts with the Donald Trump question, and that's on both ends of the spectrum. That's for people who hate him, and that's for people who treat him like he's a savior. I'm not one of those people. So, I mean, I don't know enough about what Adam Kinzinger would run on to be the president of the United States, or enough of RFK Jr.'s policies, because he's not a serious candidate for the Democrat nomination. He is being entertained. I mean, for people who want to invest their time, I know I listen to it from time to time. I listen to clips afterwards. War Room, Steve Bannon, people talk about RFK Jr. being the Steve Bannon plant to screw up the election for the Democrats in the Biden question.
Oh, wow.
This is new?
I haven't heard that.
Yeah. Well, the idea that RFK Jr. is in there, Vivek Ramaswamy, a lot of people are saying that he is part of the Trump team, and there might be some, I mean, every time Vivek talks, I love what he says.
Mm-hmm.
That, and if he were the nominee, I'm voting for that dude, because I'm a hell yes on this poll. Will I vote for the party's nominee? You're darn right I will. And I mean, the whole like conversation, even between Chris Christie and RFK Jr., that's never happening.
Right.
But I think it's important to assess where you are in this position and who you're going to vote for and why you're going to vote for them. I'm not in the same place where everybody else is, and everybody else isn't the same place where I am. The key here is that we come to these conclusions for different reasons, and that's okay. If you're all Trump every day, all day, in this country, at least for the time being, you get to be that way. Same with the converse of that. If you feel like, and this is one of those places where if you go into Trump Twitter, it just becomes a dumpster fire. And it's the same thing in DeSantis Twitter. It's a dumpster fire of people. Like, the only thing that seems to be plaguing this country is the other opponent. That's the stupidest thing ever. It's ignorant and it's insulting to American voters. And I'm not going to take part in it. I know it exists, and I hope that both of those sides come to their senses and support the other one, or a different Republican should Vivek get in there and end up winning the nomination. There's too much at stake to suggest, like, if you're a Donald Trump supporter and you're going to do, if he doesn't get the nomination, you're going to do something to keep Democrats in power, I got nothing for you. Like, I don't understand that. There's nothing I can contribute. It's your right. It's your right to do that, but my question is what you're actually supporting.
It has been fun watching the rise of Vivek Ramaswamy. That guy is very intelligent. He knows why he's in politics. He calls out corruption even from his own side. I love some of the stuff that he's doing. He's really a borderline candidate to me for being my top choice in the primary because of some of that stuff.
Same.
But, yeah. He's good stuff. He's good people.
Go to the Any Frey YouTube channel and vote in our poll. We've got it's a pretty definitive breakdown on the vote right now, but we want to know what you think. We'll keep featuring your comments throughout the course of the show. The poll is, will you vote for your party's nominee, yes or no? Hit us up on the Any Frey YouTube channel. Leave a comment if you want us to feature it here in the conversation. We'll be back in a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I love you so.
It's really easy to make Fountains Family Dentistry your one-stop shop for everything. You just call them, get an appointment, and there you go. Here's everything that they do under one roof. General dental procedures, that's just one category, which includes things like dental cleanings, exams, x-rays, fillings, even root canals and tooth extractions and dentures are all under general dental, but they go beyond that. They go to advanced dentistry with same-day crowns, sleep dentistry. I talk about those sleep apnea mouth guards I wear at night that have really changed the way I live, dental implants, clear braces, and then cosmetic dentistry as well with crowns, teeth whitening, dental veneers, dental bonding, all of that under one roof. Fountains Family Dentistry, easy to get a hold of. You go to fountainsfamilydentistry.com, or you can give them a call at 618-622-1800. And then once you call and you get an appointment, you can get any of that stuff done anytime. Give them a call, 618-622-1800, fountainsfamilydentistry.com.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com, or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki created Neovitin 15 years ago to help support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Since then, Neovitin has helped thousands of people support their daily nutrition with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend. If you're ready to join many St. Louisans in supporting their nutrition, give Neovitin a try. You can find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Today's Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll, we were just discussing it with passion. Will you vote for your party's nominee? Yes or no?
Come on, man.
Come on, man. That's what one of the party's nominees is going to say.
We don't whisper.
Yeah, we do. We whisper all the time. Things that we don't want people to hear right into the microphone. Hannah will read the results to this YouTube live chat poll at 2:45, so get your vote in right now. The time is 1:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking about.
97.1 FM Talk.
I look forward to hearing the station all day.
Everyone is welcome.
Well, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. I know not everybody has got a body like you, but I gotta think twice before I give my heart away. And I know all the
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
What were you talking about?
I was talking about the time check. It was, if you want an update, It's now 146. It was 145 when I did that.
Checking the microphones in the studio, and yep, they're all muted.
All right.
The YouTube live chat poll, will you vote for your party's nominee, yes or no? We just kind of talked about our answers to that. I am a absolutely yes.
Absolutely yes.
Ryan
Probably
is really pro RFK Jr. So he said yes, too, because he will vote for his Democrat Party's nominee.
Brian's like, bring back short sleeve dress shirts.
That's not really what happened, but I'm going with it.
That's fine. Yeah, as long as it's either RFK Jr. or Joe Biden, I'm voting for one of them.
You want to talk real quick about plus-size ladies?
Not really.
It's a Miss Manners.
That sounds like
I love Miss Manners. It is.
I love plus size. No,
all right,
sorry.
no, let's do it.
Yes, you do.
Let's talk about it.
You love people of all sizes.
I do. All sizes.
Dear Miss Manners, I love Miss Manners.
Shapes and creeds.
I'm a plus-size lady. I eat healthy foods. I exercise, and I take pretty good care of myself. Due to things beyond my control, a medical condition, I'll always be plus-sized. Without the exercise and healthy lifestyle, I would be 2 or 3 times bigger than I am now. Because I'm big, people seem to think it's okay to comment on my size by saying things like, you could probably lose some of that weight if you stopped eating bread.
Oh, come on. What?
Or you should start exercising. That weight would come right off if you did. Sometimes they say things like, at least you have a pretty face.
Oh, my gosh. This is not true. This person's making this up.
People say dumb things. My closest, I'm not plus size. I'm mid-size, and I've always been mid-size, and I'm never going to be smaller than that, and I've learned at almost 40 to embrace that. But like when I'm pregnant, I always wanted to write a book about dumb things people say to pregnant people.
Is that bad?
It's worse than that. It's so dumb.
Are you sure?
I just don't
I think the rest
that,
of us are just having fun.
One of two things is true. Men either A, never experience these types of comments because they're men, or men just don't hear, like, how am I saying this nicely?
We don't receive the comments.
Like you don't know what's happening. I don't know.
Like if I were to walk up to a pregnant woman and say something like, your belly's big because you have a baby in it. That would be inappropriate.
Dumb things to say to a pregnant woman. The first one is, oh, how far along are you? You look like you're 7 or 8 months and you're 3 months along. Or you go up to someone and you say, oh, you're not even hardly showing. Then the woman, because she's hormonal and she's considering everything that she's doing and hoping she's doing everything the way she's supposed to be, that maybe she's not as big as she's supposed to be. People just just don't. Rule number 1, don't comment on a woman's size no matter the situation. Anywho, people say dumb things. But I mean, these things are ridiculous, but people say these things.
So the appropriate thing for me to say would be, you are the right size.
We're going to Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Ryan. You're appropriately sized. A perfect stranger who was behind me in line at checkout said, quote, if you drink more water and do some walking, you will lose a ton of weight. I said to her, all I drink is water and green tea, and I walk for an hour every day. She simply told me that I must not be walking fast enough.
Well, walk a little faster.
What is a polite way to tell them they're making false assumptions, overstepping boundaries, and that it's really none of their business? I know that sounds ridiculous, and I'm sure she does not hear those comments every day, but people who are in those scenarios will hear those comments. Brad, how much weight are you down? Like 150 pounds or something?
No.
100 pounds?
100 pounds.
100 pounds. I don't know. You lost a ton of weight.
50.
I don't know. I didn't know you outside of the size.
Yeah.
But you've experienced the plus size version of yourself. Are men plus size? Is that what you? I mean,
no, we're fat.
Why don't you walk a little faster, chubby?
Yeah, get out of the way, chunk muffin.
Why don't you try some exercise?
It gets really bad when the guy follows you around with the tuba.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that men who are larger. Tell me, could people insult you when you were fat? Could you feel insulted?
I could. And it was usually when they weren't trying to insult me. When they were trying to insult me, well.
Because whenever we have these conversations about your overweight time,
man.
You say things. I'm like, I don't think you can say this, but I can't.
Oh, that was part of my personality, part of my humor, because if I didn't embrace it, people were mean. So people are mean. People say mean things. So the very first thing you have to do with somebody that's trying to bully you is take away their best weapon against you. So you learn to embrace the goofiness.
But that's not exactly like happy. That's kind of coping.
It's a defense mechanism is what it was. But it was good for my mental health because I accepted where I was. It was bad for my regular health because I accepted where I was.
I'm glad you have good mental health. You got a pretty face, too.
Yeah.
Still does.
Yeah. So
come check it out on the live stream. You can see half of it.
But like I also know too, whenever I was bigger, and I can still hear these things, I was extra sensitive to stuff. And so whenever people would try to say something helpful, I would automatically.
Would they say things like what this woman was hearing? Like, have you
They
tried
never volunteered it.
Have you tried walking?
I never. Yeah.
Like, hey, you're kind of big. Have you tried losing some weight?
Yeah.
My doctors would say stuff like that, but that's their
allowed.
job.
That's allowed.
They're a doctor. I never really had somebody volunteer that to me in a line, and I think maybe that has to do with me being a guy. And like, as weird as it may sound, it's more dangerous to volunteer something like that to a guy than it is a girl, because a girl is just going to be more upset. There is a physical threat that comes along with insulting a guy if you're another guy. It's just part of the case. So I think part of it was that, but the other part of it is people just brought it up in conversation when we were talking about different things. It was never like, hey, some random stranger said, hey, if you ate less bread and walked more and drank water, you'd probably drop 100 pounds. Nobody said that.
Amanda Rankin says on YouTube, junk muffin. Never heard that.
That's a real name.
What advice are you giving Brad? What advice are you giving this woman who is experiencing people who are suggesting? Because I think you and I both understand this, and we all have very different health situations. Mine basically stem from having 4 babies and being 40 and having this other body on the other side of 4 babies. Ryan, you've dealt with health issues your whole life with cystic fibrosis. You've dealt with being overweight and having heart attacks and like kicking the heart attacks butt and coming back and being super healthy. But there are people who are going to look overweight who are actually in their weight loss journey at a really great place.
Yes.
And they don't need other people to come in and say, you know what you need to do.
You know what they need is a high five and a good job. Keep going. I try to make it a point whenever I'm at the gym, even if I can only catch their eye and give them a thumbs up.
You go give overweight people high fives.
Anybody that's working and trying hard.
Here's that guy from the radio who walks around giving fat people high fives at the gym.
No, because you guys are laughing at this, but when you go to the gym, the first time you go to the gym, you're looking around and you are surrounded by people who are in great shape.
Yeah.
And because of your experience outside the gym, you're really worried about what those people are thinking about you. But when in reality, those people are out there, they're working out, they're doing that, and they look at you and they say, good job, because you're in the right place if that's what you're trying to do.
If you're overweight, Ryan, and you're at the gym and somebody who's fit comes up to you and says, good job, do you like that?
Yeah, I would, I think.
I
I'd
think
be like, what's up, hottie? I'm in your class now.
To Brad?
No, that's what I would say to the hot guy or girl. I would
What's
think.
wrong with Brad?
I'm not saying Brad's not hot.
That's literally what you just said.
I'm not commenting on
I'm
Brad's
a smoke
weight.
show over here.
You said an attractive person
No.
walks up. You didn't say Brad walks up to you. You said a hot person walks up to you at the gym.
I just articulated exactly the scenario that Brad said, and I asked you, and you said, no, but if a hot guy...
It's okay. I'm not Ryan's type.
I think what I need to know right now is hot or not.
No.
There's only one answer.
I mean, yeah, Brad's super fine. Is that what you want to hear, St.
Brian?
Louis?
Yeah, that's what St. Louis wants to hear. They don't want to hear the alternative because it would be mean.
What I don't want to hear is some super hot model walking up to me at the gym. I'm on the treadmill. They just walk up to me, kind of give me one of those little head nods, and they go, you'd be the right weight on the moon. I don't want to hear that.
Or do better.
Eat less bread.
You want to hear what Miss Manners suggested?
Sure.
This is why I like her. She's sassy. In more subtle times, there are expressions for dealing with outrageous intrusiveness. You would exclaim in a forceful voice, I beg your pardon, or in cases of crude intrusion, how dare you? Nowadays, people tend to take such expressions literally. Miss Manners realizes she can already hear them asking why they should apologize for someone else's rudeness.
How dare you?
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's what we need to start doing more in public. At any reason, if no reason at all, just saying that to strangers.
People do say dumb things. People say super dumb things. I think it's shocking to hear that some people might live that experience, but it's out there. And I don't think that it's like a man thing or a woman. I think women are probably going to receive it more, but I don't think it's like more men saying things or more women saying things. I just think that if you're living that experience and people are saying that stuff to you, I'm telling people, like, mind your own business.
And if you're that person out there and you are in that position where you're doing everything that you can, that's what you just have to focus on. You have to keep that in your brain that I'm doing everything that I can and I'm trying to make myself healthy, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
Or you can say, yeah, I know I can lose weight, but you'll always be ugly.
Man, it's got to be unique to the radio that people walk up to you and they go, oh, and you never know, what does that mean? I know you're seeing me for the first time, but what's your impression? I can't tell.
You're saying when they see you for the first time, and then they like pause and
but they just go, oh,
think a little bit about it.
Okay.
If they're willing to accept it or not.
All right.
We'll be right back.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-399-9407 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-399-9407. That's 800-399-9407. What do you have to lose? Call 800-399-9407. Again, 800-399-9407.
Air Comfort Service has been to my home to help us with issues with our furnace, with our air conditioner, with our water heater, with our ventilation system. I trust Air Comfort Service in my home for repairs and replacements. They were very kind to give us those options so that we could make a choice based on our budget, based on our needs and the timing, so that we could make sure our comfort zone was there. And when you got littles in the house, if you are cold in the winter or hot in the summer, kids don't sleep well, and if kids don't sleep well, no one sleeps well. Air Comfort Service was there to help guide us through our residential concerns. But did you know they also help with commercial repairs and concerns? If you're a business owner, a building manager, operations manager, or an office manager recently told that your HVAC system needs repair, reach out to Air Comfort Service for help. 314-513-0091. When you call Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation, you can get a free second opinion on commercial HVAC repairs. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
As long as it takes on Maui. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Every asset they need will be there for them.
President Biden says he's spoken to Hawaii's governor multiple times, pledging federal help and offering prayers to the people who've lost homes, livelihoods, and loved ones in wildfires.
And think about this. All that area they got to plow up, they can't do it now because they don't know how many bodies are there. They don't know what's left. Imagine being a mom or dad, wondering where your child is. Imagine being a husband or wife, a mother or father. It's really tough stuff.
He had faced criticism over the weekend for not answering shouted questions about the fire response. His remarks a short time ago at the start of a scheduled economic speech in Wisconsin, saying his agenda has led to a manufacturing boom with billions in private investment. Republican challengers disagree.
I have something called Made in America, which is a plan to create 10 million jobs by bringing our supply chains home.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott at the Iowa State Fair also criticizing the president as weak on China. Fellow Republican candidate Chris Christie says the new charges against former President Trump in Georgia cover the same basic ground as one of the federal indictments against him, election interference, also noting that Georgia had machine and hand recounts in the 2020 election.
Where this starts to be problematic for him is the electors
and the pressure that was being put on folks after all these counts happened.
The former New Jersey governor, who's also a former prosecutor, says Trump is a problematic candidate whose legal troubles take the focus away from defeating President Biden. Trump isn't backing down from claims of a rigged election and says a report he'll release next week will exonerate him. 18 others are indicted in Georgia, including Rudy Giuliani. A political advisor for him just telling Fox News the truth will prevail. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Hey, you're up next.
Ugh, my throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Changeable skies and a little taste of early fall around town as we go through our Tuesday afternoon. A mix of clouds and sunshine. 78 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. 70 to 75 for evening plans. Low humidity. Chilly overnight. 58. Wednesday, sunny and nice. 82. Thursday, sunny. Let's try to warm it up Thursday afternoon to 88 degrees. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-399-9407 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-399-9407. That's 800-399-9407. What do you have to lose? Call 800-399-9407. Again, 800-399-9407.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how long your money will last? Are you also sick of worrying about losing your life savings in the next market crash? I'm Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. Let us build your own personalized structured income plan, which will show you how much income you can receive in retirement, but more importantly, it will show you how long your money will last. Stop wondering if you have enough to retire comfortably.
Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategies you won't hear from your broker or banker. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping our clients retire with confidence for the past 37 years. Let us help you. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness 101 for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness 101. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
The New York Times calls BritBox the best of British telly. Stream brilliant series you can only find on BritBox. Unlock acclaimed favourites like Vera and Stonehouse, plus the upcoming original drama Archie, the story of Cary Grant. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888 888-367-6512.
Critical thinking in critical times. This is St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Everyone is welcome. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Russia interfered with our election, attacked our democracy for the sole purpose of artificially placing someone at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. They were successful.
Trump knows he's an illegitimate president.
The president-elect, although legally elected, is not legitimate.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
You said you believe that Russia's interference altered the outcome of the election.
I do. We have a president who, if in fact it is proven, has been assisted by the Russians and may in fact not be a legitimate president.
The one thing that Trump is fearful of when it comes to his being president is that finally we will see how illegitimate his victory actually was.
I have an objection.
I object to the 15 votes from the state of North Carolina. I object because people are horrified.
He's an illegitimate president.
No, he's an illegitimate president, she says. Man, she is so mad. She's having a good day, though. Maybe even a good week. Hillary Clinton was on Rachel Maddow last night to break down this indictment. I have no words. I mean, I literally am not going to spend any more time talking about it. But the idea that Hillary Clinton is there to weigh in on the idea of not accepting the results of an election, Jonathan Turley.
It's excessive, and I think it's also dangerous. It essentially criminalizes challenges to elections. There's no sort of limiting principle in this document. You know, they are charging things like the president saying publicly, we need to have a recount.
Is there anything worse than the hypocrisy of modern day politics? I mean, really, it is the most disgusting part of the whole thing, is the idea that if you are Republican, you have one set of treatment. If you are a Democrat, you have another.
It's just so, it used to be that the hypocrisy was kind of behind closed doors or was a little more subtle. Now you will have the same politician, not just the same party. You'll have literally the same guy in 1 year, like in 2019, say something that this is the way, like you shouldn't pack the court or something with Chuck Schumer. And then right afterwards going, you know what we should do? We should pack the court. You know, like it's immediate reversal of positions that you used to say, this, I will take a stand and die on this hill. It's pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah. Here's a good example of that.
President Roosevelt clearly had the right to send to the United States Senate and the United States Congress a proposal to pack the court. It was totally within his right to do that. He violated no law. He was legalistically absolutely correct, but it was a bonehead idea. It was a terrible, terrible mistake to make, and it put in question for an entire decade the independence of the most significant body, including the Congress, in my view, the most significant body in this country, the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
A much more salient Joe Biden in the Senate talking about the bonehead idea of packing the court. And we've already heard that his administration has taken into consideration the possibilities of influencing how the Supreme Court is made up. It is not 9 justices in the Constitution. There's no definitive number of how many justices would be on the Supreme Court. And the Democrats are absolutely invested in that idea. So they change their minds when the wind is at their back and vice versa. Everything that you can see on your own, you don't need any, whip smart pundits on Fox News or CNN or MSNBC or even OANN, which is mentioned in the indictments, that Trump was like, hey, you should watch OANN. And the Democrats are like, crime.
Deplatform it.
Yes. It's ridiculous. The idea that you were treated one way or a justice system, not politically. We're not talking about coverage on MSNBC. We're not talking about fair and balanced on Fox News and whether they prioritize conservatives over Democrats. We're talking about the justice system. We're talking about the people who in this country have the ability to take your life away from you, to put you behind bars and to keep you there because you committed a crime and that is what you deserve. That's what they've determined that Donald Trump has done in this country. And everything that we watch these Democrats accuse Donald Trump of, we have evidence of the Democrats doing the same thing. We know it. We see it. I don't know that I trust the American people in full to get past. It's a question I asked Joe Concha earlier. What's more influential, Joe Biden's awful record or Donald Trump's ability to turn people out for him and against him? Which is more influential? Because it's Joe Biden's record that's going to be on trial essentially in November 2024. Because I still stand by my point. I don't think Joe Biden's going to be the nominee. I think he's going to resign.
I don't know. If I knew, I would get paid a lot of money to make those predictions for politicians because that is the question. The ultimate 2024 question.
Is the support that Donald Trump brings out a wash for the detractors? Is there a net gain on either side?
No, I think it's a wash. I don't. I think that Donald Trump, you say Donald Trump and everybody runs to their corners. And then there's like three people left in the middle going, where's everybody going?
Which is the strongest asset the Democrats have because they don't have policy to stand on.
Mm-mm.
I think it's a wash at best for Republicans. I think that if you consider the influence that the Biden record has on the American existence right now, the middle class existence, the people who live in poverty right now, the people who are super wealthy right now. If you look at what Bidenomics is doing to American individuals and the reality of what 16% inflation does to your bottom line in your own personal economy, I think that everybody knows we need to do something different. And what's the Meatloaf song?
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Or Bad Out of Hell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd do anything. I would do anything to get rid of this terrible existence that I'm living right now in America, but I won't do that. That's my fear with Donald Trump. Now, the press conference that he's going to deliver that's going to give the irrefutable evidence in his word, in his mind, that the Georgia election was stolen, is that's what Joe Concha said. I hadn't heard those specific details about the press conference. Is this going to help his case? Is he sitting on irrefutable evidence that the election was stolen in Georgia, that he's like, I'll save this for a different time?
I don't know, but we're about to relitigate all of it. So if anything new has come out, I guess this is the time to use it.
If Donald Trump, if the summoning of the Trump name causes people to run to their corners, Donald Trump talking about the election, the 2020 election being stolen, causes people to leave like Kool-Aid man shapes in the walls when they run to the corners.
Yeah, it's a very passion-driven issue because of the implications of it. I mean, if it is, then it needs to be dealt with. If not, then I could see how you'd be upset with people, undermining the democratic system if you think that it's fine. It doesn't need to change at all. But are there enough people who have seen, because you're right, everybody's going to go to their corners. I don't know that anybody is going to change their mind big. Are there enough people that will sit out this election that didn't in 2020 because of what the last 4 years has been? I think that's the question. That has to be the question.
I won't vote for Trump, but I'm not voting for what the Democrats have to offer.
Yeah, I think that's
so you vote down
it.
ballot.
Either down ballot or you don't vote. Or in the case of a no labels party, I think that's what they're so afraid of, is that those people they might still show up, but they might almost cast a protest vote.
I'm having trouble seeing a no labels party outside of the idea of these are the establishment people who really know how to government. That's what I feel like they are. It can't be no label and be the Democrat senator from West Virginia. You have a label.
Mm-hmm.
You could be a no labels guy and be Mark Cuban and, come onto the scene and not be a designated talking head for a particular party and then maybe make some waves. But I just don't think people are going to take, I don't know, maybe it's just the no labels label.
Isn't that funny?
That's got me kind of tripping up on that. Is it fair to say that, does it make sense to you that Donald Trump would be my first priority if he would look forward, not backward? Because I would feel more like he was committed to winning the 2024 election.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who are there. I think you represent probably a huge group of people who are saying the same thing, which is, please move on. Not that the issues you're talking about aren't important, but you have to change your focus if I'm going to support you so that I know you've got your eye on the ball. I think that's kind of
the only reason why my support would hang in the balance for Donald Trump is strictly in the primary, because I want to make sure he can win the general. If he wins the primary, I've already said that I am absolutely, I think a lot of people think that this will you vote for your party's nominee is a question for people who support Trump. And if they support Trump and Trump doesn't win, will you vote for DeSantis? I think that's kind of the underlying question that people feel like this is asking without asking. But I'm just as much asking DeSantis people, Vivek people, all 7 Chris Christie people, if...
Not me. I said yes,
he
but
would not shut up about how much he loves Chris Christie in the break. It was like, all right, stop, we get it.
I just refer to him as the one.
And he always says capital T, capital O. Right. It's like, gosh, move on.
The one who cannot be named. He is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I want to know if the people, like, would Chris Christie vote for Trump?
It's a good question.
He better.
Especially if he's going to be on that debate stage because he's going to sign a pledge.
He should. Because the enemy is the Democrats. And yeah, right now, what the Democrats are doing to this country is an enemy to what the Constitution set us up to be. I can hear the gasps from the comments right now. Did you just say that Democrats are your enemy? Why wouldn't I?
No joke.
The Democrat Party is the enemy of freedom and of liberty. Which is why when you see people like RFK Jr. running for the Democratic nomination, he's saying the party that I am a current member of is off its rocker, and it needs to get back to the idea of constitutional respect, where we don't have a massive government structure that is running everybody's lives and making all of your decisions for you, so you sit down like a robot and wait to be programmed on the next thing that you're going to do or have or receive or not receive. This iteration of the Democratic Party is hateful and is not good for the future of the United States of America as you know it. And you know how we know that to be factually true? Because the guy who won the presidency in 2008 promised to fundamentally transform the country. You don't fundamentally transform something that you love. And the United States of America in 2007, leading into the 2008 election and into the Obama presidency, was something that, according to the new leader of the Democratic Party in Barack Obama, it needed to be torn down and rebuilt from the fundamental foundation that it exists on. It's done a pretty good job. I mean, if you look at Barack Obama and ask yourself if he's been a successful president, depending on how you measure success, one of the most successful presidents the country has ever had in his own goal that he told us out in the open before he was elected he was going to pursue. I saw someone say, like, make America great again. They said, make America America again. Ma. Maybe it'll catch on. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Will you vote for our party's nominee, yes or no? We'll be back with some of your comments when we come back. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I walk along
So let's talk about Window World and how they can help you with your drafty windows that are not keeping your spaces heated in the winter, cooled in the summer. It is something that a lot of people will put off, and you think, oh, gosh, windows, that's going to cost an arm and a leg. I want you to reach out to Window World and see what they can do for you. 314-993-1800. They're now offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. Window World is there to make this a simple solution for you. And when you invest in Window World windows by calling 314-993-1800, you're going to get that lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. Window World stands by their product. They're ranked number one in number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. And in just over 20 years in business, they work hard in the St. Louis area to make sure that the look and thermal efficiency of over 70,000 customers has been satisfied. 314-993-1800. Call them at 314-993-1800 and start the conversation about replacing your drafty windows, whether it's one window or the whole house of windows. You can make a smart decision by giving them a call and seeing how they've earned so many other St. Louisans' business in the past. 314-993-1800. Online at windowworld.com.
Want to win a pair of Cardinals tickets for Military Appreciation Night at the ballpark this Friday? Call now. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Be the ninth caller.
This is Matt Spiegel of 670 The Score in Chicago, and my podcast, The PBP, Voices of Baseball, is all about the art and craft of play-by-play. Catch up on episodes with Joe Davis, Joe Buck, and many more. Then something crazy happened along the way. I did a weekend of Cubs-Cardinals on the radio, so now conversations are enriched with feedback and advice from Jason Benetti, Boog Shambi, and others to come. The PBP, Voices of Baseball. I bring you the people who bring you the game. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
To doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
This planet is so incredibly beautiful that I can't get enough of it. I did 950 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail, and Good Feet was with me all the way. Your passion's important, but if your body aches and if your heel feels like you've got a nail stuck in it and won't come out, trust me, it's going to wear you down. The Good Feet store knew what they were talking about and took the time to really dial in what I needed. I hiked 84 miles in the Himalaya and to do it pain-free. You think I'm not grateful for Good Feet?
Get ready for your summer adventures. Come to the Good Feet store today. Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Deerberg's.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. You deserve comfort in your life. Come in for your free test walk today.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
If you need a new bath or shower, call my friends at Bath Fitter of St. Louis. Mark Cox here. We love our new shower and tub enclosure. It looks fantastic. No demolition, no mess, and a lifetime guarantee. Right now they're having a sale for 20% off up to $1,000 or 0 interest until 2028. That's 5 years. Call 636-338-1648. That's 636-338-1648. Bath Fitter of St. Louis.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at GSLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 and thousands of music options, plus millions of podcasts are all on the free Odyssey app. Download the app or tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 and it comes up automatically. 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Passenger side, I slide on in, vinyl seats off from the heat of the sun. Chewing on a Slim Jim, can't stop thinking about him. Yeah, 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 he's the one. Yeah, 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 he's the one.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. YouTube live chat poll. Will you vote for your party's nominee? Yes or no? We want to know what you have to say about that. The Hawaii wildfires, the president has said he's going to go out to Hawaii, which is good. That's what the president should say. Here's the FEMA administrator.
We also want to make sure that we are getting all of the appropriate information out to survivors. So we are working with our state and local partners to ensure that our outreach and our messaging is also culturally responsive and that we can get messages out to people so they know what is available for them.
What FEMA wants to make sure that rescue efforts and communication in Hawaii are culturally responsive. Is the opposition of that culturally unresponsive? I'm always kind of wondering, like, where's the default? Because if we're making an effort to do X, what happens in the absence of X? So I'm not opposed to behaving culturally responsively, but I'm wondering if you're not making the effort or making the point to your employees that, don't forget to be culturally responsive. If you don't mention it, what happens?
It's just like the signs that say, I trust the science. Whatever, all the statements on that sign that you see around. It's implying that other people don't. Like, here's what I do. You clearly do not.
Or when you say that out loud, do you just get credit for saying it out loud? And that's the end of it.
I think that might be the case.
That kind of sounds like what they're going for here.
Box checked.
Yeah, I don't understand what culturally responsive means in the context of getting...
Save people from the fires, but be culturally responsive.
Yeah.
I just think that wherever you are and whatever your circumstances are, you should be aware of where you are. And how were we behaving in a way that previous to the emphasis on these types of vocabulary words, it wasn't happening? DEI is a big deal in business these days, but it seems as though that there have been enough major marketing crises that have occurred from emphasizing diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, if you go, Annie, are you against diversity, equity, and inclusion? No, but you capitalize all the letters and then you use it as a way to either A, shame people, or B, cause other people to feel as though they now have a superiority over another group of people because it does both of those things. If you look into the education system, what do they call it? What is the education called? It's slipping my mind right now. The way you have to teach.
Curriculum?
Ibram.
Oh.
Wrote it.
Critical race theory?
Yes, CRT. If you look at critical race theory as a mechanism for education in the classroom, anti-racism is a bold-faced word in that whole mindset. And you'd say, Annie, are you saying you're not anti-racist? Because if you're not anti-racist, then what would that make you? Well, anti-racism, as per critical race theory, and I've read his papers on it. Like, I've read them. I'm not getting copy points from, conservative eagle.patriot, Ryan Wiggins' website.
Yeah, you didn't even know you could have a .patriot, did you?
/America.
Man, trailblazer.
Yeah.
If
New domain trailblazer.
I've read it. The idea of anti-racism is that in order to atone for the racism that has existed in your country, you have to flip the script. And it's not enough to be like Martin Luther King Jr., content of their character, not the color of your skin. You now have to observe people who have been in oppressed, marginalized groups and lift them up while simultaneously lowering the converse of that. That's racist. Anti-racism is racism. The idea that we would educate kids based on the child's individual existence is not what this DEI in the classroom is advocating for. I believe that we need to constantly be in pursuit of Martin Luther King's capital D dream and be working to always look to people and let their character speak for who they are, and not to have prejudgments in our minds that everybody has. The prejudices that you have in your life towards people of a certain age, people of a certain gender, people of a certain religion, people of a certain height, people of a certain color. These are all things that, based on your cumulative interactions and existence around people who are not you, you cultivate this perspective on other people, and it is your job to not act on those prejudices and give these people the opportunity to show you who they are so that you can get to know them and appreciate them for who those individuals are. This is a concept that led the civil rights movement and moved our country into a place where we had leaders of all walks of life saying, yes, Martin Luther King Jr. is absolutely spot on in this. And we do need to look at the content of people's character, and we should not be marginalizing people. You have to hold in both hands at the same time the idea that we should judge people by the content of their character. You can't at the same time say that black people and white people live the same lives. It's not true. We have different experiences and different existences. Tall people and short people have different experiences and different existences. Men and women, same thing. People of different religions, same thing. People of different weights, same thing. Genders, all of it, same thing. To say that you're going to be somebody who is out there and say, you know what, I'm just going to wait for people to show me who they really are before I make judgments, and to say that the idea that in your mind, this is the unconscious bias that gets talked about in a lot of these trainings that you might have to participate in. Unconscious bias to me is the same thing as prejudice. And prejudice exists. It's important to acknowledge it. I don't think that there's anything wrong with taking a look at yourself and saying, my experience around white middle-aged women is that those are generally the people who are Karens. Sorry, Karens. And 3 people just shut the radio off right now.
I'm done with this.
That is a prejudice that people hold in their mind. If you see a white woman of 45 years old talking to a manager at Applebee's, you are going to make judgments about her that may not be true. There might be an experience that woman had. Maybe she's complimenting somebody. Maybe she had an experience that was very negative, and she is having a conversation respectfully with somebody to reconcile it. I mean, you don't have to be a middle-aged white woman to be the pejorative, air quotes, Karen. But of course, people are going to see that situation. I mean, you could draw a caricature, a meme, a cartoon of that scenario, and people would understand it because they have prejudged the situation. And I'm talking about middle-aged white women. You could put a 55-year-old white dude in front of a boardroom and put that in a cartoon box or in a meme, and people would feel like they knew something about just that image based on their prejudgments of what they know or what they feel like they've experienced with the world. But we do have a responsibility of identifying those prejudgments and not acting on them. When you prejudge somebody and you act on it and it's based in skin color, that's racism. And we are in, I kind of feel like the pendulum has started to move back to somewhere like getting close to the realm of some common sense and normalcy, where people are starting to see through the grifters on the DEI movement who are using something that should be part of a conversation for self-aggrandizing means. I think that that's good to identify. It's hard to see anybody talk about inserting in the instance of what's going on with FEMA and in Hawaii and to see that they are prioritizing their actions to be certain that they are culturally responsive. I assumed that that would be a given. I didn't know that it needed to be reminded to everybody. I would assume that your reactions and your movements to help these people would be sensitive to the culture. When you say it out loud, it almost cheapens it to me.
Yeah, because you're putting it back in the forefront. You're saying, here's a disaster that's happening, but I also want you to think about this. And it didn't need to be a part of that conversation at all, because if you were going to help, hopefully you would have been of the mindset that I'm here to help people, not trample on people's culture. I mean, isn't that already kind of baked into the idea of helping?
Yeah, if you're here to help, then help. The best thing that you can do is help. This is why this is so ridiculous to me, because the whole, at the end of the day, the point was for them to score political points. Even in the midst of something as disastrous and as tragic as that Hawaii wildfire, their goal is to score political points in this. There is nothing else that exists for this administration other than political points.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break and get to the YouTube live chat poll when we return. More of your comments. We read some of them at the beginning of the show. We'll finish up the segment here next with your thoughts on this. Will you vote for your party's nominee? Yes or no? Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and in the live chat portion of today's live broadcast, you can vote. You can leave a comment as well. Hannah will feature some of your comments when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
I daydream of me and a cold cotton peel and the feel of his skin. The windowsill smiles and before I know it, I'm miles away sitting next to him.
FoleyDentalGroup.com. If you're looking for a new dentist, go with the best. First of all, top-notch dental care is the most important thing when it comes to finding a new dentist. And Foley Dental Group has a great group of dentists that are taking new patients to make sure that your dental care is attended to. And when you need to get a new dentist because the one you have currently right now, maybe you haven't been in a long time. Maybe you don't even know if they still have your records, or maybe you just don't really love the care that you've been giving. They're too rough, or they don't make you comfortable, or you don't feel like they've given you the answers you need to problems that you're experiencing. You go to Foley Dental Group, like so many other people have. 618-288-9670. They can help you with all of those special needs. Of course, the cleaning, the 6 months checkups. I just went to mine recently. My kids were there yesterday. The implants and dentures that you might need to replace missing teeth, they have a lot of different solutions for you. And they're going to give you the one that is going to fit your specific needs. They also help with sleep disordered breathing, and they have an Invisalign. When you need dental care and you want it done the right way, in the best way, you want Foley Dental Group. 618-288-9670, online at FoleyDentalGroup.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Imagine what your backyard could look like once my friends from Chesterfield Fence and Deck have been there. Mark Cox here. Listen, mention my name, mention Mark, and get 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. They've been around for 55 years. They are one of St. Louis' top names in home improvements with a commitment to quality and professionalism. And you know that you have their sign in your yard. It's a sign you have the very best. Locally owned and operated for 55 years. They will come to your house, give you a free estimate at no obligation, free project design as well. They'll take measurements. They'll show you all of their product offerings right there at your house. Or you can go to their showroom if you need that extra inspiration. But they do fences, they do decks, they do custom sunrooms and screen rooms and pergolas. Take advantage of it. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Go online today and check them out at chesterfieldfence.com.
Selling your home? Every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out the only agents I trust. Go to thegelmanteam.com. That's thegelmanteam.com.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life. Over the past decade, Coalition Life has served thousands of women in crisis pregnancies, helping to save the lives of the children that they carry. Help us build a better community while also reducing or completely eliminating your Missouri taxes with a 70% tax credit. A $1,000 donation today to help these women could cost you as little as $141 out of pocket. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com. Thank you.
Rewind on the Odyssey app and listen to Greg Jarrett, Fox News legal analyst, at 12:25 talking about this indictment number 4. And then Joe Concha talking about everything going on today in his unique way at 1:05. That is on the Odyssey app. You can rewind or you can get the podcast when we're done with the show. Right now, it is 2:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Hey, our friend and former White House spokesman Sean Spicer has a new show. He'll talk about it 5:07 Tuesday evening.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
You guys remember when we auctioned Hannah off for chickens?
What a time.
We never got any chickens.
Nick commented when Hannah walked in, "There's my wife. I bought for $1.99 a chicken." And I go, "What is this about?" And they're like, "Oh, remember when we auctioned her off?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense now." And then I thought, "Ooh, that's a weird thing to make sense of."
I think I was saying that I would get the dowry, too. And I never got a thing. So
you're going to give her
away?
You're
still free. Yeah, I was going to give her away.
Oh, I'm free.
Yeah,
okay.
You're still free. You can do whatever you want because I never got any chickens.
There's an unsavory name for what you're saying you're going to do.
I don't want to know what it
Starts with a P
is.
and it ends with a P. I'm just going to say. The middle is an M.
Primp.
A primper?
I was going to do her hair for her big day.
You're the worst kind. You want to look nice, don't you? That's terrible. You are totally worth more than $1.99 a chicken.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to see what
that.
that chicken looks like.
Who in here gives 2 hoots about Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk?
Not 2. I give 1.
I give 0.
If I could negative hoot,
yeah,
would that be like a?
I think I only give 1 because I'm more fascinated by how much coverage they're getting out of it.
Yeah, but then you're part of the problem.
I know I'm part of the problem, but I still think it's interesting.
Clip that.
I mean, the amount of air that they've gotten on all the major networks.
What happens when someone wins and loses?
It's never going to happen.
Literally nothing.
That will never happen. They will keep breathing life into it for probably 2 years.
Should they wrestle for each other's wealth?
Possibly, yes.
For charity? The loser has to give all of their wealth to the national debt.
Ooh. That wouldn't really make a dent, though.
Not at all. TMZ is talking about it right now.
Oh, my gosh. And Mark Zuckerberg said yesterday that he said, this will never happen. He was doing the whole, he's too weak, he won't actually face me thing.
It seems like Elon Musk was joking, and Mark Zuckerberg is like, yes, I'm going to fight you.
Everybody knows that guy. What, you want to go? Yeah, let's go right now. And then you throw down and you're like, dude, he's up.
Yeah, we were just kidding
Mark
around.
Zuckerberg would be that guy.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is like, you need some money, dude? How much do you want? Just calm down. Go to a spa. Go to the nicest spa.
The only person in the world that could say that to
Get
him.
3 separate services at the spa. Your pick. Relax.
I live in a spa, Elon. What do you think this is?
You and me right now outside.
It's a little too feigning testosterone for me, which is the Italian dish.
Yeah, from people who have no testosterone either.
And you said that like this. For what reason?
On purpose, because I have a ton of it. I can't. When you talk about testosterone, when you have that much of it, it just takes over.
You're kind of making my point. He walks around the office all day going, oh, and then he beats his chest. And in the background, Hannah's going, hey, can you show me the Pee Wee Herman dance?
You have to help me with that after the show.
I stand outside of Y98.
That's the Annie Frey show. We don't
beat
ask
my
questions.
chest.
We just kind of let them do their
I'm
thing.
a conservative. We do talk. You do music. We are not the same.
Built different.
Don't start Odyssey St. Louis wars in here.
That's
We
what
like
I do. I walk around beating my chest and grunting. You're not even on the
You're
air.
like, Ryan, the
Who
bathroom's
are
in the
you?
same place it's always been. Go. Take care. You think it's closed?
Serve me. We are royalty.
That's probably what some people think that we think about ourselves here.
No kidding.
Right.
I mean, going back to the original conversation, which I would never have imagined would have arrived here. Is there any value whatsoever to Elon Musk fighting Zuckerberg? Is there anything I'm missing is really the question here, because I think it's the dumbest thing in the news cycle right now.
If they were to actually fight,
Even then
yes.
why?
I would watch that. Because it's two of the wealthiest, most influential people in the world beating each other in the face. If that were happening, I would watch.
Brad, you watching?
Not if it's pay-per-view. I'm not paying.
I kind of agree with that.
I'm not paying to watch it.
You
but
think
if
the
it's,
two wealthiest men in the world are going to fight for free?
No.
You didn't
No,
get
but
there.
we'll go down to the bar and watch it for free. And we'll order sodas. 2-drink minimum, gentlemen. Okay, well, I'll have
Yeah, but when
could
you
I
do,
have
you're
a kitty
gonna
cocktails, please?
order
Right. I like a Shirley
sodies.
Temple.
Yeah.
You guys aren't making the case that I should care about this at all.
No,
I think I just did.
I don't think.
Mic drop.
I don't think you should care about it at all. The only reason that I know about it is because it comes across my Twitter feed every so often.
It kind of aggravates me when it does. It's like, stop trying to make fetch happen. Stop trying to make this happen.
Fetch? Oh, I thought of the movie Fletch, which is not what that is.
If you know, you know.
Okay.
You don't know.
No, I don't.
It's sad, though. You should.
He doesn't even go here.
He doesn't even go here.
Good one.
It's very good. Should we finish the show in Mean Girls quotes so that Ryan doesn't get to participate? It'd be like a super Mean Girl thing. Brad, you can be honorary.
Honorary mean girl.
Tomorrow we wear pink.
I don't get it.
YouTube live chat.
You know, one time, what's weird too is one time
I can think of several things.
I interviewed the woman who wrote the book that Mean Girls is based off of, and I still don't get it.
You don't get Mean Girls?
I don't get any of the quotes. I've seen the movie. I don't remember it at all. I remember
It's
thinking
hard
it was
to
funny.
believe.
I remember thinking it was funny, and that Lindsay Lohan was all right.
All right.
I'll stop.
Way to tame that down, bro. Good grief. Take your testosterone out the door and shake it out a little bit.
Sorry,
Good
when I talk
grief.
about Lindsay Lohan, my voice just does that.
Isn't she 7? I think she's just
Not anymore. At one time.
In that movie?
Yeah, in the 90s. She's probably older than Brad. but not as me.
You're in trouble. You're Hannah, go.
Okay.
Go.
Will you vote for your party's nominee, yes or no? Everybody stop. You're gonna...
What's with the Lindsay Lohan interest?
I just thought she was kind of cute at the time.
Not at the time. You were here.
Not in The Parent Trap. In Mean Girls.
Okay. YouTube poll. Will you vote for your party's nominee, yes or no? I will read some comments. Jim says, voted yes. If you wouldn't, why even choose a party? That's a good point.
Thanks, Jim.
Sheepdog says, I'm a registered Republican and will vote straight Republican. I will vote my party. Andy says, I can't say yes or no at this point. Andy. I can't stomach Trump versus Biden again. I might vote third party for president since I live in Illinois, and it really doesn't matter because Biden will carry this state.
That's actually a pretty good point about Illinois.
What? That we're worthless?
Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to accomplish?
Vote? I don't think that's a good message
for
to share.
president?
Mark Reed said, I voted yes, but it depends on who the nominee will be.
No, that's a no. Mark.
What if the nominee was Lindsay Lohan? Mark, am I right?
G-Whip says...
You are so wrong. On Next Level...
What about Rachel McAdams, Mark?
My husband would agree with that one. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. It's almost 3.
Keep going.
Okay.
We need to get there.
G-Whip says, well, duh, he would vote for the party's nominee. Liz Cheney would be better than what we have now, but I could see some Democrats not being able to stomach another Biden term.
Imagine achieving the political prowess where you're like, who's the worst Republican that I can think of? Yeah, I'd vote for Liz Cheney over a Democrat. Let's choose her. Liz Cheney, you are here.
Terry Bax from our YouTube channel commented, there isn't any way I could vote for a Democrat. The Democratic Party is so corrupt that even a decent candidate would fall to their corruption. Amanda says, I voted yes. Well, I do like RFK Jr. as a Democrat. I can't see him winning as the nominee. And if he did, I can't see him liking more than the Republican nominee. Wiggins?
You and Wiggins can Zuckerberg fight after the show.
Right. Quick Rick said, I vote principles.
But if I win, I get all of her wealth.
Jeez. People are commenting stuff about Lindsay Lohan now in the chat, and I
Sweet.
can't even find the comments anymore.
She was born July 2nd, 1986. How do you feel about that?
86, so she is not quite 40. And you're like, oh, she's too young. She's almost 40.
The question is,
you were too married.
The question is how old was she during Mean Girls?
I don't know. Let's find that out now. Mean Girls year, 2004.
Is that right?
Yeah, 2004.
You remember at the beginning of this when he pretended he knew nothing about Mean Girls?
I don't know any of the quotes.
He knows all
I watched
of
it with
scenes.
the sound off. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God.
It was
What's
August
up, Amanda
2004.
Seyfried? Remember, she was in that too.
Yeah, she has
And
a
Lacey
fifth
Chabert.
sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the results. Annie?
All right, the YouTube live chat poll for Tuesday for the 7 of you left listening to this show. Will you vote for your party's nominee? No, 11%. Yes, 89%. Over 200 votes of listeners from today's show said yes. That's a pretty resounding majority, almost 9 out of 10, which is interesting to me because I think the 11% of votes there are all centered around what Donald Trump does, but I bet you the 11% aren't all Republicans or Democrats. But I bet it's all living in the Trump world. Ryan, anything else you'd like to tell
Edward says
everyone?
She was 18 in Mean Girls, I think.
No.
And Nick said Ryan is high tea, which is true. Thanks, Nick, for your super chat gift of $1.99.
Oh, it's rough.
Tina Fey and Amy Poehler were in that too.
I know. It's one of my favorite movies. It's a fantastic documentary, and I like to talk about it on a regular basis. All right, let's keep it right here on 97.1 FM Talk for the Mark Reardon Show coming up next. Gregg Jarrett, Joe Concha on the Andy Frey Show today. You can find him on our podcast, available everywhere. Just find the Andy Frey Show wherever you get your podcast from. We'll be back tomorrow with the Mark Reardon Show up next.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year?